Hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 142 people in 10 different countries. And you can watch live if you want, or later and heal yourself as you watch. First, there is the intro discussion where I talk about the theme and what we're doing today in particular. Then there's the healing, which is the biggest part of the stream. And then at the end, there's a chit chat about energy healing, geeky topics, people's comments about how the healing was for them, stuff like that. And so when I'm healing, I say out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So that's how you can use it as an all levels self-healing walkthrough if you wish. And I am healing those people that purchased it ahead of time on my website, jwhealing.com, which you see on screen right there. And the set of healings for later this month, Aries healings, are on that my website for sale now. And then February healings, believe it or not, are going to go on sale in a week on December 15th. All right. So enough of that. Let's talk about the theme. Oops. Okay. Okay, so that is the theme for this month: confidence, intuition, and inner silence. All things. Thank you for my confirmation. I appreciate it. The theme isn't really hard to figure out. You know, confidence, everyone knows what that is. Intuition, that's obvious. Inner silence, maybe, is kind of extra interesting and not super obvious. In the past, when I work inner peace with people, it's a lot of like your mind and calming your mind. But this time, inner peace is more like inner silence. How I'm working it, it's like sound boundaries, and also clearing your inner triggers about external sounds, which includes external sounds that are not like out loud sounds, but psychic sounds like telepathy, you know, nonverbal communication that is you as a spirit can hear, but you consciously, maybe if you're not a conscious telepath, you can't hear it. But as a spirit, you can hear sound, what sound does to you. You know, we're going to clear inner triggers, and we're going to do some interesting things with that today, actually. So I'm going to move on to today. And then after that, I do have some other interesting things to talk about, even that aren't specific. Yeah, so lots of good stuff to discuss before the healing. I have something in front of me and the keyboard, so in between me and the keyboard, so my typing is not as easy right now. Okay, great. So today's concepts, I need to get my notes out from under a kitten. All right. There's a lot of good stuff today. To help pretty much every aspect of the theme, I got this, I think, a cool idea. Like, you know, I always think of different ways that you can clear baggage. You know, oh, you can clear it, you know, using timeline healing, thinking of, you know, which past lives it's from. Or, oh, you could clear it as a big blanket and just heap on the blanket, heap your baggage onto the blanket. You don't worry about where it's from, if it's past life, if it's from your fourth chakra or your seventh chakra, who cares? Just make a big pile and blow it up, right? So all sorts of different ways to clear baggage. And sometimes I think of it as just like variety is more interesting and boredom is bad, you know? And so if you're more interested and engaged, the exercise itself is more effective. But today, oh, that's kitten typing. Kitten babysitter. Lorenzo. Ugh. Lorenzo's kitten, so he's supposed to. Anyway. I was looking at a sample person, you know, that the angels pointed out to me as I was prepping for this healing, and they could have cleared more baggage around how sound affects them, how external out loud sound affects them, than they did in that healing. I mean, they did clear a bunch, but they have so much more to clear. And I thought, well, they could have cleared more at that time, you know, even within the healthy and gentle amount. So why didn't they? And I think it's just when there's so much resistance and so much avoidance around what makes you uncomfortable, it's like your spirit just kind of puts it to the side. And the tendency is to not clear it, even if you're in this sort of supportive situation where clearing is way more easier than it normally is. So we're going to I've developed like a workaround for that. So that hopefully people get more effective clearing and more noticeable results than they would otherwise. So it's like a resistance workaround. It's a way to get around people's avoidance and resistance. And it's not only using timeline healing, because it was past life baggage that I was noticing that this person, I mean, because when you think about it, you know, it's pretty common for someone to have leftover baggage that they haven't yet cleared from a past life. And then, you know, it just keeps getting shoved forward until you clear it, right? So then you have a lot of past life baggage you haven't cleared versus the baggage that you haven't cleared so far in this life that you've gotten from, you know, like last Tuesday or 2 years ago is relatively less usually, even if you had a crappy childhood, which is possible, certainly. But anyway, so I think with timeline healing, and we'll include this life in that timeline. Timeline healing is just where you make different piles for different lifetimes worth of baggage that you have. Like you imagine a timeline and the present is on one end of the timeline and then all your past lives are on the other end of the timeline. And so we'll do that for each aspect of the topic: intuition, confidence, and inner silence. And we'll pick the top 3 lifetimes, because I think it's like people get overwhelmed and that triggers the resistance and the avoidance. So I think if we're just specific and we single out, okay, the 3 lifetimes worth of baggage that impacts, say, your inner silence, you know, I think then people are more likely to really actually do it and have like a much larger clearing with it. That's still healthy and gentle, you know. So we'll see. So we'll do timeline healing, but kind of modified, and we'll just allow you to see and clear from the top 3 past lives that, you know, have baggage impacting the topic that we're working. And we'll do it for different topics, but mostly the intuition, confidence, and inner silence. But maybe 1 or 2 extra topics for that. We'll see. So I hope that makes sense. It's just a way to get around. It's a way to clear more that you might not clear because you're either overwhelmed or you're just so used to avoiding something. But we'll see if that does what I think it will. So that was explaining timeline healing plus top 3 past lives at a time. Top 3 past lives worth of baggage. So it'll make, if it doesn't make sense, it'll make more sense when we actually just do it, because it's really a simple thing to do. It sounds complicated. So another thing that we're gonna do. Okay, so target chips we have done before. Target chips, it's like it's not a good thing. It's like it's a way that someone messes with somebody else. Very bad karma way to do it. Very bad karma thing to do. I'd never recommend it. You're totally screwing yourself for many lives if you do something this negative to someone else. But you know, the world doesn't listen to Janet Wright, you know, so people do this kind of stuff subconsciously. But in all the lives that you've had, you probably have run into a few of those people and pissed off a few of those people. So it's possible that you have target chips within your energy field. So a target chip is just a piece of energy that's sort of like you know, it's really obvious to invasive beings, and they're attracted to it. So if someone, you know, like say Negative Betty, we'll call her, right? So if Negative Betty, who's like, you know, has all these dark witch past lives and stuff, right? So subconsciously, she doesn't, maybe she consciously, she knows she's doing it. But so Negative Betty, she hates, you know, bystander Bob, right? So bystander Bob is just walking through, living his life. Negative Betty is like, okay, I'm going to really get him, you know? And so she puts a target chip in his space. And maybe she even, you know, has enough dark energies within her that she, on some level, conscious or subconscious, puts a curse maintaining being within. Like if it gets, the target chip gets removed, the curse maintaining being puts it back in, you know, for like into perpetuity, you know, in his next life, his next life, his next life, you know. And I mean, the good news is that it can all be undone, you know. You can remove the target chips. You can have the angels recycle any invasive beings that are at all associated with it. Any far off curse maintaining beings, any beings that were called to it, to the target chip. So there's that. But we've done that before in other healings. I don't remember how recently though. But we have done that. But you know, it's always good to do that kind of thing again, because sometimes, you know, healthy and gentle, like maybe you weren't ready to have them all removed before because it's too big of a shift, and so now we do it again. You get a few more removed. But then specifically target chips from in and around the good karma windows, like not in, but like, you know, plastered up next to the good karma windows. Or in the first chakra. I noticed that there were people that probably have worked to remove target chips, but they missed the ones that were around their good karma windows and or around their first chakra or in their first chakra. And so we will specifically remove from those areas, and plus, you know, any others that are healthy and gentle for you to remove at this time. So that's something we'll do. And again, it's easier to do it than to explain. Of course. So there's that. So this, I'm explaining two different things we'll do today at once. I should spell out chakra. That's when I don't have a lot of space, I'll spell it CHK, but it's Okay. So, chakra filaments, I talk about them somewhat often, but if you're new to my work, then you maybe haven't heard them. They're the connections between your set of 7 physical body chakras along your spine and your set of astral body chakras along your astral body spine. And they can get damaged, they can get blocked. And sometimes, like, if you get chakra damage, it'll also kind of blow out the filament, like mangle it or, block it a lot. And then maybe you repair the chakra, either consciously on purpose or subconsciously. But maybe there was so much damage to the filament that it didn't like sort of automatically repair at that point. So you might have like some lingering damage to your chakra filaments. So we're going to repair and unblock chakra filaments, which is easy to do, really. And people have said that sometimes it helps with like enhancing abilities, like psychic abilities. Probably just because it helps you fit even better into your physical body chakras and be present in both of them. So then it's like they just work better. And then 7th to 8th connection. 7th chakra is in the top of the head. 8th chakra is above the top of the aura. And that's part of your higher self. So it's like it looks like a big gold sun, but there's, a lot of gold light that gets sent down in that 7th to 8th connection of like your eternal wisdom and healing energy. So it's a nice, very calming, big picture wisdom that is super valuable. But that connection can get damaged and it can get like hard objects stuck in it, and then it leaks and invasive beings are attracted to it. And then you get like mucky energy coming into your 7th as opposed to like your calming, big picture wisdom. You might get like a mix of the two. So that's easy to repair. We're just going to repair and unblock your 7th to 8th chakra connection as well. And, probably something else too. But that's the stuff I know consciously so far. So then I did want to talk about a few other things. Some of them I just thought of today and yesterday as I was looking at survey feedback. Thank you very much for your surveys. Always, this feedback helps me plan and brainstorm. Not that you have to like literally write out ideas for me, but it's just whatever you say, it just helps me read you more easily. And then as I'm reading the different people, it's like, oh yeah, that would help. Oh yeah, that. So anyway, just helps. So other stuff. Sorry, there's something in between me and my keyboard right now. No, not Felix. Okay, so sleep is so important. Sleep helps in so many ways. It helps you as a spirit, your future. You get healings. It's really priceless. And the quality of your sleep really matters to you as a spirit, but even more so to your physical body. Your physical body, and I'm not a medical doctor in Eastern or Western medicine, so whatever, but the length of each, if you get your sleep cycles and how, so how long you're sleeping at a given time helps, because then your body goes into deeper sleep and, there's more repair that happens. So even from like a vanity sense, for like your face and your skin and stuff and like all your body systems, Quality of sleep is a big deal, really big deal. So that's why it's a spot on every survey, post-healing survey. How was your sleep? And you can, note specific things about it. And it does help me. And so it's kind of like an ongoing thing. I try to improve people's sleep with these healings. So 2 things I wanted to mention today about that is crossing over ghosts is something that we did. It's easy to do, and I think it's really cool to do, like kind of satisfying, personally. We did that in the 2 healings ago, last month in November, the final healing of the month, the second in the set of 2 for the November twin set. We did, helping ghosts to cross over. Super easy. Ghosts are just people like you and me, but that didn't cross over when their body died. So then they're walking around like just in spirit form. Most people can't see them, and they're like, hello, why can't anyone see me or hear me all of a sudden? This is really weird. What's going on? And so ghosts tend to find someone who's somewhat capable, like most of my clients. And they keep visiting them and saying, well, have you figured out what's going on with me? Are you able to help me yet? Do you know why most people can't see me or hear me? Because capable people, at least relatively capable people, can see and hear ghosts on a subconscious level, which is the level that the ghosts are operating on. And so they know that you can see them. So they'll hang out with you or keep visiting you. Just because, they need help. And they can't see their angels. Otherwise, they would have crossed over already. So, the only things they can see are the people, the in lifetime people like us. So anyway, helping them to cross over is not only a good deed, but it helps you. And I wanted to mention, I've mentioned this before, but I think I need to emphasize it more, because I think more and more when I see people with sleep issues, there are a lot of different reasons for sleep problems, but one of them is that you have ghosts visiting you at night. Not trying to hurt you, not trying to scare you, just being like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but have you figured out what's going on with me? You know why someone's in my house using my belongings, or do you know why all my belongings got given away? Like that kind of thing. So sometimes I've seen it that people get really nervous when it's time to go to sleep, or some people wake up with a lot of anxiety, and that's because the ghost happens to visit them at that time, and they freak out. They can feel that energy of the ghost trying to contact them, and they're just like, they wake up in this great sense of alarm, just because they don't understand ghosts, and so it's disturbing. They're like, what's going on? So it's not the only reason, but I'm noticing it more and more. And so just wanted to point that out. And if you just search Janet Wright help ghosts to cross over, you'll pull up that live stream from last month, or there's another live stream a couple years ago where I did it too. It's a super easy process. You're basically just talking to them. You're not doing an energy healing. You just say, look over there, your angels are right there. And then they see them and they go. Because that's all you need, is to see your angels for you to cross over, which is why most people do cross over, even people who are not spiritual, because it's just a natural process that happens on a subconscious level. It's like an automatic thing that happens. It's just rare, sometimes, rarely, the person's just too blocked on that subconscious level, and so they don't go with them and cross over. So anyway, so if you're having sleep problems and you don't know if it's ghost related, I guess it never hurts to check, to just intuitively check to see if you have some ghosts that visit you either during the day or in the evening, and help them to cross over. It is something I could look at, but it's good to just practice on your own, intuition with that, because it's a day-to-day thing. You could go somewhere to some store and there's a ghost there who sees you, and now you have a ghost following you around where you didn't the day before, so it's a good thing to just get familiar with and get comfortable with. So hope that makes sense. And if you have questions about it, you could post in your live chat if you want, or, later if you're watching and you have a question, post it under the video. And I will answer it. So that was about ghosts and how they could be impacting your sleep. Okay, so then so So another thing that can help sleep is working sound boundaries. And I didn't really realize that it was such a link with sleep, but between the last healing and this healing, a lot of people had better sleep, either one night or both nights. Maybe just the second night, last night, or maybe, whatever. So, but I think an unusually high number of people had better sleep. And so I think it's from that we worked the inner silence stuff, which is part of the theme, inner peace, but I'm doing it as inner silence. So it's like you're able to not be disturbed by external psychic sounds, mental sounds, literal sounds as much as you would otherwise be. And so that's another reason why we're still going to work on it again today, is in the hopes that it helps you even more with sleep. Just to be not disturbed by, noise, physical or mental or psychological or spiritual on any level. We worked it in the last healing, the one where we helped Ghoster crossover. We did so much in that healing. In retrospect, that was a bit silly. It was like 3 healings in one. I mean, it wasn't too much, though. It was very well sort of designed, except for the fact that it was like 3 healings in one, and that's probably unnecessary. But anyway, we did a very literal sound boundaries in that one. We did like 5th chakra, 5th layer, 5th chakra river, telepathic mesh. So we did like the nuts and bolts, like the mechanical version of sound boundaries. And in this one, we did more the inner silence, the clearing your own inner triggers, so that you're not upset by external noise. So I think I like that way a little better. That's why we're doing more of it, and we're doing the past life clearing of your inner baggage that gets triggered when, you're aware of external, either psychic or literal sound. So anyway, just wanted to mention that, that, the relation between the sound boundaries, inner silence, and sleep quality, which was interesting. Hmm. Okay, so you may know this, but maybe a reminder is appreciated, or maybe you really didn't realize. But something that I do, I mean, the whole thing about, I want to teach people and I want the information to be freely available to as many people as possible for no charge, right? So I charge to heal people in these healings. The people that I'm healing, they actually paid me a sliding scale rate, yada, yada, but, they did pay me. But the information, all the teaching, I want that to be free, right? I mean, you still have to afford the internet and a computer to watch it on, or a phone to watch it on. But other than that, So, for that reason, I commonly put extra topics and little facts and explanations in the comment sections of recent live streams. And also just, you know, people's comments, video comments. I'll reply to them. Sometimes it takes me a while, like a couple weeks to get back to somebody. But when I reply back, it's kind of it can be very educational, you know, their question and my explanation of the answer. I got a text, which is funny. I can see it on my screen too. Audio is glitching on my live stream. Oh, that's great. Do other people have glitching audio? Audio is cutting in and out. Oh, yep. Other people said that. Oh, bite me. All right, how about now? Is the audio glitching now? That's such a shame. I was on a roll explaining stuff. Is the audio still choppy? Let me know, guys. Oh my God, somebody's getting a black screen with no sound. Are you kidding? Wow. Let's see. YouTube tells me stream is healthy. Excellent, it says. Oh, I don't know that that's true. Still skipping for me. Ah. La la la. That's frustrating. What to do about that? So how skippy is it? Like you really can't understand what I'm saying, or just kind of mildly annoying, but you get what I'm saying? It's been 5 for the last 5 minutes. Interesting. No problem with video and audio is good for me now. Huh. The person that was texting me. No, that's a different person texting. Oh, interesting. Most clients don't actually have my cell phone number. That's funny. Good now. Well, all right. Thanks. Somebody says just fine. Wow. Well, I do appreciate the feedback, and I don't know if I did anything to help it. But that's kind of a bummer that you guys didn't hear me before. It was not too bad for me. Could still understand what you were saying. Okay. Well, I usually explain things all over again before we do it, so I guess whatever, we'll just say enough is enough. But okay, but this point, just that there are notes in the comment sections, and so if you look at like a past live stream, you could learn extra things just by reading stuff in the comments, extra comments. It's not like I don't tack it onto the healing outline comment. It'll be a whole separate comment. So if you see extra comments that I've made in the comment section, those are the ones I'm talking about. Those are the educational comments that I just add, and I'm the one that adds them. You'll see I'll post what somebody asked maybe, but then I'll post my explanation just so people can learn. So, and a lot of times those, I mean, there may be some, like there was one, I think, that I put in the live stream. I just did it this morning, and I put it onto the live stream from Thursday. But usually it's more likely that they'll be on the last healing of a set, you know, because then there's a gap of like sometimes 2 weeks in between the sets. And so if I have one of these educational notes to put, I'll just put it in up under the, in the comment section of the latest live stream. So it'll be like, in the if you look on the November twin set, healing 2 of 2, not only is that healing, the 3-in-1 healing with so much stuff, but in the comment section, there's like several extra educational notes. Just, if you're feeling geeky and you want to learn, it's not required learning. Don't, freak out. You're a perfectionist. Just take a deep breath. It's all right. So, but maybe some people didn't know about that. So now you do. And the other thing is, I didn't mean to type die. I meant to type 4. My hands were in the wrong place. Okay, so if you have Gmail email, right, and you get these healings, so you've been getting group emails from me, like maybe the news email on the 15th, you just get my news emails, or you've been also getting healings from me in the last 2 months, like November and now December. I'm using constant contact to send group emails because supposedly that's what you're supposed to do, and there's supposed to be an unsubscribe link at the bottom, and if you don't, like all the big, email giants like Google and Microsoft and Gmail and all that, they like blackball you and they put all your stuff in spam. So even though it's not spam. So fine. So I'm behaving now and I'm using constant contact. So there's an unsubscribe link even for, emails where you've paid for the triplet set and it's a triplet set email trying to get you to buy new things or something. So they'll put the email not in the main inbox, but in your tab for like in Gmail, it's called promotions. So all the salesy emails. So like my survey emails for you, they may be going to the promotions tab. So I wrote out what to do about that in a note under the last healing in the comment section. But basically, you just take the email that's in their promotions tab and you drag and drop it on top of the word primary for the primary tab. And then it says at the bottom, it says, oh, would you like to do this for all emails from Janet at jwhealing.com? And you have to, and then from then on, all my emails will not go into all my group emails will not go into your promotions tab. They'll go into your main inbox, the primary inbox. So I can email that explanation to you if you email me and say, Janet, I didn't understand what you just said. I'll write out the instructions, but it's also, I've already written it out in the last healing in the comment section as a, a note. So just so you know. But no matter what, there is a way to convince your email system, whichever email system you have, like not to do that, not to shove my stuff into junk or spam or whatever. And I can help you figure it out if you don't know. And it's hurting your brain to figure it out on your own. All right. So, jeepers creepers. Okay. Audio out again? No. Same. Wow. I'm gonna see if my husband's doing anything weird on the internet. Probably not. Maybe we have like storms outside and our internet connection is bad. But I'll text the kitten babysitter, aka my husband. Sometimes he'll do something like uploading videos or something during my stream. Oh, we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, I'll keep talking so you can tell me if the sound gets better or worse. Video freezes again. Are you watching me? Are you having trouble? Can you watch me too and see? Yeah, because people are saying the video freezes, the audio freezes, all sorts of. Yeah, but now. Hmm. Yeah, I really don't know how to fix it. Hmm. Whale. Um. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Yeah. I sound okay to you? And it's consistent. It doesn't like jump out. It doesn't like the sound isn't choppy and or anything if I keep talking la 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 la. Yeah, keep watching please. Let me know. All right. Well, I'll just keep going. My husband says he can see me and hear me fine, so don't know what to do. All right. So at least the quality of my energy healing is not impaired by the quality of my internet connection. There's the Susie Brightside take on it. So I'm gonna do some quiet. So you can't really test sound right now because I'll do quiet, but I'll do 3 minutes of quiet roughly before I start the live stream, the healing itself. And can you sound and video still fine for me? Yeah, some people have it fine. Thank you so much for telling me. I really appreciate it. Maybe YouTube is having problems on their end. Because if some people in some parts of the country have no problem, and then other people in other parts of the country and world are having problems, and it's definitely not on my end, I think. Okay, well, that's useful information. Thanks everybody for continuing to give me feedback. I appreciate it for sure. If you could tell me how long this stream has been going, because yet again, I did not start my timer on time. So I would like to keep track. So if someone could tell me how long the stream has been going so far, that would help too. So it's not really quiet. All right, I'll do my prep, but hopefully someone will say how long the stream has been going. Ah, thanks. Thank you. You guys are the best. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks for waiting. So just a quick mention of something that we will be doing today that it just kind of occurred to me that we should do it today. Is we'll be doing some spine unblocking and nerves, like nerves that come from your spine and go, like, say, down your arms, or go from your lower spine, down your legs, stuff like that. We'll work on healing some of those. We may do that on another day too, in a different healing. But we'll do some of that today. So that should be interesting and cool. Okay. So grounding, let's get that done. So your grounding is your connection to the core of the earth. You can go ahead and get rid of your old one, make 2 brand new ones, one for you as a spirit, one for your physical body. Make them nice and wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Make them both the same color, either a red or a yellow or a orange, red, orange, yellow, one of those colors, but make them both the same. So both orange, both red, or both yellow. Because you want your spirit and your body to be on the same page, so to speak, like, on the same team. So you can make copies of your new groundings out in front of you and unblock them with gold light from your hands. You have a big hand chakra, big fingertip chakras, and you can set those chakras to a metallic gold color, like this glitter, just with your thought or your intention. You don't have to be able to see energy. And you use the gold light from one hand to unblock the energy centers of the other hand. And the meridians of the other hand while you're at it. You have some cool meridians that begin or end in your fingers. So that's fun. Fun with meridians. So, and then you could make a copy out in front of you to heal your hands too. It's kind of just whatever works for your brain better. And your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. And you can make a copy of your shoulders, your arms, like Acudol here, just like a little simple version of that, like your arms and your neck and your shoulders. And just use gold light. And gold light is good for repairing and unblocking. So you don't want any energy leaks. So you could just use lots of gold light and send it to your neck, shoulders, and arms and hands. And then you can comb all the way from your head all the way down to your toes. A little bit extra in the biker shorts area, one of my favorite areas to talk about, of course. Biker shorts. So you can have a copy of your biker shorts area out in front of you and use extra gold light there. And whenever we do these areas, you send gold light to that part of your body, but also the auras around it, because your auras are supposed to protect your body and other things too, but that's a big part of it. So they're supposed to be nice and flowy, lots of your energy to protect all these parts of your body. So just comb outward from your biker shorts area, in all directions, to get your auras nice and flowing. Because flow is strength in energy work. Stuck energy, hard energy is is not strength. It weakens, because it's like if someone throws energy at you, if you have a bunch of blocks, everything tears really fast. Whereas if it's flowing, it sort of diffuses the force of it, and it may not tear at all, or just much less. So we're unblocking your auras around your biker shorts area. And then we'll do more just standard grounding where, comb through all the way down to the core of the earth. Indie grounding is where you use gold light and you run it through the outer surface of both your groundings all the way down to the core of the earth, and you melt away connections between your grounding and other people. Because your grounding works best when it's just yours only and nobody's hooked into it. So just melt everybody away so they can have their own grounding and focus on their own grounding, and you can have yours. And you can just sweep all the blocks in your grounding in one pile, and then just focus so much gold light that you melt all those blocks. So again, sweep all the energy blocks in your grounding together into one big ball and just melt all that with gold light. Deep breath, breathe into your spine, your hips, your ankles. The back of your auras too. You can come through the back of your auras and the back of your groundings. Someone brought up the whole thing about, having your grounding, your chakras be open cylinder shaped versus cone shaped, and a lot of, I guess, traditional information sources have the chakra as more narrow in the back. Probably most people say that, but I just I don't think that's optimal. So you can just let your all your chakras in the back, like so, back of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down your back of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them, don't cinch them up. Don't let them be too blocked, so that you want them to flow out the back as much as possible, so that you're keeping good, strong flow back here in the back of your auras. If you don't have good, strong flow here, then it's going to be too blocked up and too weak and too vulnerable to external energies coming through, right? So you want as much release ability as possible back here. So comb through the back of chakras 6 through 1, unblock them with gold light. All right, good enough for now. So that was a lot. We did grounding, but then we also did unblocking around the biker shorts area. We also did back of 6 through 1, unblocking, back of auras. Probably some other stuff too. Oh yeah, we did shoulders and arms. All right, so that was a little variety pack, huh? So that's what we did just now. Oh. Good job, good job, good job. Let's celebrate with some confetti. Let's try to celebrate with some confetti. Oh, funny, funny, funny. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to figure something out. Oh, boo. Well, I'll have to figure it out later. It's hurting my brain right now. Figure it out. Great confetti. Thank you. I'm such a child. Okay. That was grounding, etc. Oh my gosh. Somebody says, all good now. Signed out of YouTube and turned off and on phone. Video, audio, fine. Wow. So if you're experiencing problems watching my video, perhaps you need to do the same. Turn your device off and on, sign out of YouTube, come back in. That's crazy. You'd have to do any of that, but whatever. Okay. Sure. Let's see. All right, let's do aura repair. So you have a whole lot of auras, but if that hurts your brain, don't think about it. But I mean, maybe just kind of slightly register that you do have 17 auras, so each of them can have rips. So you want to repair all the rips in all your auras. But you know, if that's as much complexity as you can handle, that's enough. But if you want to know more, one is your physical body aura, one is your astral body aura, and then 15 of them are Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is strong boundaries energy. Wei Qi auras is something that angels taught me, not traditional Chinese medicine stuff, even though Wei Qi is traditional Chinese medicine concept. So anyway, but bottom line, we're going to repair them all at once, and it's easy. And it's very important to help with focus, to help with energy safety, to help with everything. So, and the easiest way to do it that I kind of like, that I would only do for myself, I wouldn't do this for other people because it's like a little bit sudden, the effects. But what I like to do for myself is if I have some rips, I want to just make a composite copy rip that represents all the rips I have. And then I want to just use so much gold fire. And so all the gold fire blasts everything out of the way of this rip and repairs the rips. And I just find that fun. And then I say, well, angels, any invasive beings that were in the way or moved out and are like fleeing now, can you recycle them all? Because I don't want beings to then come back later, you know? So I just say, you know, angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings that are in the way and or fleeing, and You don't have to make the sound effect though, of course. So that's sort of the flamethrower version. Cold flamethrower version. But that is a bit sudden for people if you're healing someone else. So personally, I wouldn't do that for somebody else. Okay. So then this is the less sudden, less sort of dramatic version. Where you make a composite copy and with your intention you say, okay, this represents all the rips in all my auras. And then you use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that with your intention sticks to everything that's not you. And so you fill it up with sticky gold wax. And so then it forms a lump of all the junk, like the gold wax plus the junk. So hard objects from people, invasive beings, all of it, right? Forms a lump, right? So then you just lift out the lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, so you still have your composite copy rip. Do it again. Sticky gold wax. Lift out all the junk at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So then it's nice and cleaned out. So the gold light should make really good contact with the ripped parts. And so get the gold light as deep as you can. You can say too, for good measure, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them, please? Then you just let the gold light work. Okay, and then that would have repaired most of the rips, but maybe you have one or two left over that are a little more stubborn. So we do it one more time for the leftover rips. So make a new composite copy rip and say, okay, well, this represents any leftover rips. And then you do the same process. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, there you go. Angels, if there are any invasive beings still in the way, can you recycle them? And then gold light to repair. Okay, and if you have any leftover aura hardness, either within your auras or at the outer surface, you can put copies of all that aura hardness out in front of you and melt it away with gold light. Because again, aura hardness makes your aura more easily torn if someone throws energy at you. So you don't want that. So leftover aura hardness, make a pile, melt it away with gold light from your hand. All right, good enough. You can redo your gold buffer zones. There is a video if you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, so you can learn more about that if you want. Gold mesh spheres there are 3 of them in each of those 15 Wei Qi auras. Again, if that hurts your brain, back off of it. You don't have to imagine all the spheres all the time. I personally don't bother unless I'm actually trying to repair them. Then I'll imagine them. But otherwise, I just think of Wei Qi auras as gold bubbles because, filled with like a gold flowy mist, because sometimes too much detail kind of hurts my brain too. However, the gold mesh spheres do exist and it's good to repair them. So at that time, I will imagine them. So anyway, you have each Wei Qi aura has an innermost gold mesh sphere, a middle one, and an outermost one. So they wrap all around you. They're gold mesh unless they're all ripped and missing, and then they're not. So you just imagine them all at once, use gold light, and let the gold light repair your gold mesh spheres of your Wei Qi auras. And again, if it hurts your brain, just use your intention and gold light and it'll work. So gold light to repair your gold mesh spheres. And the gold mesh spheres continually generate gold light and send it inward towards your body, your astral body, and whatever meridian that Wei Qi aura is supposed to nourish. All right, good enough. Jeepers creepers. Okie doke. So creative rings are above up here. 1, 2, 3. They're above your astral body head. 3. And so you can make a copy out in front of you of your creative rings and use lots of gold light and wash them off, melt away anything that's not you, so that they're just 3 gold rings without a bunch of mucky stuff all around them. And your creative rings, as well as your chakras, have flaps. And if I can find my diagram, I could show you. Sorry about that. So the flaps of your creative rings, if they stick open, they look like this. That is not what you want them to look like. You want them to be shut so they don't stick out, so they're not obvious. But if they're shut, then it just looks like a smooth outer surface of the ring. That's what you want, because when the flaps are open, it's easier for people to cord you. So they're open in the first place because enough people or invasive beings are already cording you that the creative rings are irritated, and so they kind of puff out with the extra energy. So just notice, are your flaps open or not? And if the flaps are open, that means you need to do a little more work repairing and melting cords so that your flaps can relax and fall shut. So they're like a handy indicator of like if you need to do some work on your creative rings. Handy dandy indicator. And if you can't see, just use your intuition. And if you don't have intuition, you do really just start trusting it. But you can feel with your hand and just feel like, see, bump, 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 or versus smooth, you know. And it might be smooth at one part of the ring, but then like say, just the front, right at the front and the back and the sides have flaps sticking out. It's not that the flaps don't all, sometimes all the flaps stick out, but sometimes just some of them. So wherever you notice the flaps sticking out, use extra gold light, melt cords, do some repairs, melt away hard objects stuck there. All right. So that is creative rings. What they do is they generate gold light when they're happy. And that gold light forms a nice protective force field right up there. And also that gold light gets sent down to nourish and unblock your major chakras along your spine. Very useful. Okay, so now we're going to repair and unblock all your major and minor chakras at the same time. Somebody asked, I guess I get caught off guard by these kinds of questions, but they're like, your techniques are so unique. I never hear other people saying them. Well, it's just angels teach me stuff. So I don't know. It could be they're teaching other people this stuff too, or not. I don't know. So anyway, so repairing and unblocking all your chakras at the same time. Something the angels taught me. So let's do it. You just make a composite copy, an image out in front of you to represent all your major and minor chakras. This is the basic chakra shape. an open cylinder, equally open on both sides, right? Because you want as much flow as possible. Because if you get stuck energy, it just makes it easier for other people to screw with you and invasive beings. So just use gold light around the round openings and throughout the chakra copy. So with your intention, you have it represent all major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. And that's how you're repairing them all at once. Use a composite copy and your intention that says, okay, that represents all your major and minor chakras. So melt away cords. The flaps, remember creative rings have flaps. Well, chakras have flaps around the round opening as well. So if they stick out, they look like that, except there's not a gold outer surface. It would be whatever color your chakra is. So if it's your 7th chakra, it'd be, and you set your 7th chakras to purple, then you have a purple chakra and purple flaps sticking out. Oh, the 7th chakra is this way, but anyway, your composite copy of all your chakras. Just imagine it and melt away cords. Relax the flaps. You can lift out energy blocks from the chakra that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and then melt all those blocks at once with gold light. So lift out the blocks from the chakra, melt them all with gold light. So with your intention throughout this, and in general as a healer, I would suggest you have the intention that you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. You can always do more later, but you want to be functional and have a good life and not overdo. I like to optimize growth, so I'm growing as much as is beneficial. So I don't, you don't need to slow things down too much, but there is a speed that will be optimal for you at this time. That's what you aim for, as far as growth and gold light, unblock. So the energy blocks could be stopping up the openings on either side, or they could be stuffed inside or wrapped around the chakra. So you just use gold light. Gold light melts it all and repairs, so it's easy, and melts cords. All right. So now let's so this is something I announced that we were going to do today. I'm going to stick it in right here because we're already working chakras, so may as well. So chakra filaments. So you imagine your 7 physical body chakras and then your 7 astral body chakras. Imagine them separately, because then you can imagine the filaments that connect them. So 7th chakra is oriented this way, like this. So round opening in the top, round opening in the bottom there. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way. So round opening in the front, round opening in the back. Right? So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? And then in between there, you have your filaments, which are cords, but they're good cords between your physical body and your astral body. So I call them filaments so people don't have a negative association with them. But just use lots of gold light and unblock them. It's really easy for them to get blocked and like tighter than they should be. You want them flowing and sort of as expanded as they need to be. And you want them to be the colors of your chakras, not like black or silver or gray or whatever. Sometimes it's just like the lower 3 are especially screwed up. But, you know, it depends. Like maybe you're like a singer and, you know, fifth chakra is really a big deal for singing. So maybe your fifth chakra filament, maybe you have some students, you know, impacting that, or voice singing colleagues, I guess. So, you know, different chakras can be impacted. But if you don't normally repair and unblock your filaments, they might all need quite a bit of work. But as usual, it's easy to do with gold light. Melt away the blocks with the gold light and melt away connections from other people with the gold light. This is a very invasive place for someone to cord. Cording you here, just melt them away. So not even your kids should be cording your filament. If you have like a young child, then you have a cord between your physical first chakra and them, and also your astral body first chakra and them. But the filament, that's just too much. That should be just you and you. Third chakra is maybe one of the chakras that's more relevant for quality of sleep. So third chakra filament, you can check that out extra. Unblock it. You can say, you know, angels, if there are any invasive beings blocking these filaments or connected to them or fleeing from them, can you recycle all of those beings? All right, good enough. Normally I do also some theme related unblocking of the chakras, but I'm going to not do that right now because we're going to do that cool past life clearing of baggage with timeline healing. So we'll do a lot there. Okay, my favorite diagram. This photo is even my screen on my phone. See, you can see that. Let's see. Come on. There we go. See? Just because it's cool. So you have 2 rows of acupuncture points, one at the level of the top of the earlobe, one at the level of the bottom of the earlobe. You could see them right there in the diagram. And those are what I call base of skull points. And they're really cool to work. So let's do that. So all those dots on the diagram, those are chakras. And so chakras, basic chakra shape like this, right? So they fit within the meridian, these acupuncture points, and the point of these chakras is to keep the energy flowing within the meridian. So the chakra isn't facing outward to, fountain it out into an aura or anything. It's faced it's just like tucked into the meridian itself to keep the energy flowing within the meridian, right? So as far as like direction, shape, if you want to imagine. Well, you just use lots of gold light and you're healing those meridians as they pass through your base of skull area and also those chakras. Just use enough gold light so that they expand and they're red and flowing. The diagram uses different colors just so you can tell the different meridians, but on an energy level, all those acupuncture points, all those, chakras that are in the meridians and the meridians themselves, red is a good energy color for those. Red is like super body friendly. And so not only heal those directly, but then also you can comb outward and unblock your auras and repair your auras if needed behind there. So all the behind the head area right there. So like all your auras, they go out. And so this whole area you can comb through your head, comb outward, gather up a healthy and gentle amount of energy blocks, gather them up and melt them all at once. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you recycle them? And then just keep melting so they're gone. You can make a red grounding just for your base of skull area, all the way down to the core of the earth. And bring up red earth energy to soak the base of skull area through that grounding. And then just release any energy that's not yours down that grounding, down to the core of the earth. It's really common if you have problems with anxiety or focus. You have a lot of maybe more blocks here than the average person. Although the average person is pretty blocked everywhere. But since this back of head area and the meridians back here are, I have found that the better flow you have, the better presence you have there in particular, it really helps you to check in and get stuff done, be focused, be more determined, and not just like in some like sort of someday hypothetical, but like really for real, like I can't believe I was able to finish that task. That kind of focus, So and if you're overly blocked here, you're just more likely to feel overwhelmed and just really have focus trouble and maybe have extra anxiety. So just spend a little extra time here. It's really worth it. And just find some blocks back here behind your head. Melt them away. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Sometimes, if you're okay with complexity, and again, keep in mind, I'm teaching all levels of people from like uber pro to like uber beginner. So pick and choose, some things might be too complicated. You might not find them healing, and that's okay, right? But you could think of the individual Wei Qi auras of each of these base of skull meridians. So like that midline one going up the gray line that in the diagram gray, going up the midline of the back and around the head and ends in the roof of the mouth. That's the GV meridian, governing vessel meridian. And so it has its own Wei Qi aura. Well, you have your own GV meridian Wei Qi aura. And you can comb through just that one back there and like find some blocks. If you're just thinking of that one, you might find some hard objects that you weren't aware of when you're just thinking of all the auras. Use cold light and melt them. And GV meridian, you know, it starts in the crotch, goes all the way up the whole midline of the back, so, and ends in the roof of the mouth. So that's kind of cool. We can just do GV, we can just geek out on GV meridian some more, and GV meridian Wei Chi aura. Oh, yeah. That's why. Angels are so smart. I'm so grateful. Okay, so why they suggested that, well, A, because it's cool. But B, because for confidence. Because governing vessel meridian, it manages all your yang meridians. So yang is sort of like that self-assertiveness, you know, take charge of your own life and protect yourself and all that good stuff. So, so your GV meridian is sort of like the, you know, the yang manager, right? So if we take better care of that one, make that healthier, then all your yang meridians will have more support. And so it's cool. So anyway, just think of that, you know, GV meridian Wei Chi aura, and as it goes, well, the GV meridian as it goes up your back, and in that, just that GV meridian Wei Chi aura right behind it, you can have some really interesting looking hard objects from past lives that are not helpful at all. And just use so much gold light, because the angels, if there are any invasive beings hooking into these hard objects, can you recycle them? If there are any beings at all related to these hard objects, can you recycle them? Including far off beings, can you recycle those beings? So again, the GV meridian Wei Chi aura goes all around you. But, you know, if you look at just right, you know, around the meridian itself in that Wei Chi aura, you can find some really cool as in interesting, but, you know, harmful devices that are from past lives that you can melt away. And of course, you know, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings connected to or invested in these devices being here? So that would include the far off beings, if there are any, trying to be clever and hiding far away. So that's kind of interesting. And you could do the same thing for the UB, meridian Wei Chi, or we won't spend as much time on that, but we will do it. And then we'll do the GB one as well. So UB, urinary bladder meridian Wei Chi aura, not so much for confidence, just because it's cool. All right, so that's the yellow one. Urinary bladder meridian is yellow on the diagram, but hopefully red in your actual body. Urinary bladder meridian starts in the inner corner of the eye, and then it goes up and over a little, and then it goes back, and then you see it right there in the diagram, right? And it's 2 branches, and then it branches into 4, which is kind of cool, and then it goes down your back, through your butt, and down the back of your legs. It's so cool. It ends in your toe. I think your little baby toe. But anyway, so we can do the just all along your back, your urinary bladder meridian Wei Chi aura. You can have some really cool looking energy blocks. Not cool as in good in this case, but impressive maybe energy blocks that go all the whole length of your back. In your urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. Let's see if I can find a better diagram of that. Bear with me for one sec. That's not what I wanted to show. That's the kidney meridian. Totally not what I wanted to show. Okay, now we're getting warm. This is more what I wanted to show. Still a lot of extra stuff I didn't want to show, but we're getting there. Okay. All those numbers, those are the butt points of the urinary bladder meridian. But I am going to get rid of that graphic because it's not that serious right now. I'm just going to go over here. Okay, so I love this graphic. So it shows the urinary bladder meridian as it goes down your back, right? The yellow lines there. And so what I want to do is just the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. A little higher than that, including the base of skull area, but the whole back. So just the Wei Qi aura that's just for that meridian, urinary bladder meridian. Of course, it goes all around you, but it's most important, like right next to the meridian. So if you comb through the meridian itself and then outward, you can like become aware of some hard objects, impairing the energy safety of that meridian and that Wei Qi aura. And so you melt the hard objects with gold light. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these hard objects, can you recycle them? Sometimes as you're working, there'll be like an invasive being that's like half in and half out because he's getting like kicked out by your work. If it feels a little odd, so you can just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are like halfway in, halfway out? And that usually is kind of a better feeling once they're gone. So comb through your urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura at the base of skull, but also the whole back and outward. And gather together some energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And use so much gold light that you're melting the junk, the blocks, the devices. Oh. Okay. Now, gallbladder meridian is the final one. Final one that we will do. And again, I think this helps confidence, or more precisely, self-assertiveness is what the gallbladder meridian helps, but it's like potato sometimes, you know, same thing. So gallbladder meridian is there in the base of skull area. It's the blue-green one. So it zigzags a lot in the side of the head, and then it goes forward, and then it goes back in the way that you see it right there. And then it crosses over the shoulder and then goes down the side of the body all the way down to the feet. So, I'm not going to change my graphic because it's going to be a whole process for me to get the perfect one and everything. So just imagine, you know, the gallbladder meridian Wei-Qi aura, it's all around you, but you know, imagine it being extra relevant, like right around the meridian. So side of head, base of skull area, top of head, forehead, and then all the way down the sides of the body. And unblock. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into any of these blocks, can you recycle them? And then you can do some direct healing on the gallbladder meridian, again, in the base of skull area, side of head. You don't have to know all the zigzags. Just use your intention and gold light on the sides of your head and forehead. And goes to the top of your, it goes over the top of your shoulder there near your neck. And then it goes down the side of your body. If you want to see the route of the gallbladder meridian or any of these meridians, there's a 12 meridian playlist in the comment section or the info section, sorry, of this live stream, and in the info section of the video when it's a video later. But again, this helps with confidence. So imagine that Wei-Qi aura for gallbladder, and look, especially around the sides of your body, you have sort of like walls pressing in there, and just spend a little bit of time. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Spend a little bit of time and melt it away. Focus, gold light. Could have been there for like 5 lifetimes. So don't freak out if it takes 20 seconds to melt it. And melt people's cords out of it. A lot of times it's a lot easier if you just melt everybody out. Sometimes a lot of people you know are subconsciously cording these things, not because they're trying to harm you, just people don't have great boundaries in general. All right, good enough. Okay. All right, so that was pretty huge, way bigger than normal. We did base of skull points, like we did the 3 Wei-Qi auras of those base of skull meridians, governing vessel meridian, urinary bladder meridian, and gallbladder meridian. And we did those Wei-Qi auras extra all around. in the relevant areas. So hope you enjoyed it. Good job, good job. Woohoo! All right, that was interesting. Okay. Izzy, you okay? Izzy. Okay, so we're going to combine things together. Hopefully that's not too confusing for people later. And I have been noticing lately that if you are overly affected by astrological shifts, like, full moon, Mercury retrograde, blah, 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 all that stuff, you could just need extra work here, extra boundaries with your good karma windows, and maybe grounding and some other things too. But the good karma windows in particular, when they're functioning well, do bring in a small measured amount of like uplifting energy from the moon and the stars. So it's like if you're out at night and you just saw a particularly beautiful night sky, that's sort of the vibe, that you're bringing in a teeny bit of that through your good karma windows. Little sound thing. Oh. Huh. Weird. All right. Sorry, my husband is telling me that we have a little sound issue, but it's not huge. So sorry about that, guys. Now the sound is gone. Did you hit mute or something? I'm talking now. Can people hear me talk right now? I'm saying the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Oh, great. All right, whatever. Sorry, guys. Like, for good internet, it just doesn't sometimes make a difference. Maybe we need to move to a big city. What happens when you prioritize living near big trees and less people? You get shittier internet. Right. Anyway, okay. So now I'm going to explain. That was just some other stuff. But so good karma windows are back here. Usually we do those together. Often we do them together with base of skull points, but since I did a big improv cool thing with base of skull points, we'll just do good karma windows now, but we'll also do a big improv with that and do one of the major things that we're going to do today, which is target device removal. So target devices are just, devices that unfortunately draw invasive energies towards you extra. So it's like someone put a bullseye on you and like all the invasive beings like really notice it and they're like, oh, it's like an attractant for invasive beings. And someone might do that, they just want to screw with you. It's super bad karma to do that to anybody. Would never, ever recommend it. You'll screw yourself for many lifetimes. It's really not worth it. But, some people do it. So it's good to know to remove target devices if you notice them when you're meditating. There's something weird and it seems like all these beings come to it all the time. That's a target device. And you could have a far off, like a curse maintaining being that would put it back if you got rid of it. So you want to ask your angels to recycle any beings associated with that target device. Because otherwise it'll just keep reappearing, which will kind of drive you nuts. No, but I said in the intro discussion, which you may or may not have heard because there was sound issues, that we're going to be removing target devices anywhere, but especially from around the good karma windows area and around the first chakra as well. So we'll just kind of do that as well. I'll stick that in the text here. Oops. Okay, so first chakra is plural. You have two, right? You have two sets of 7 chakras, one physical body and one astral body. You have 2 first chakras. Okay, so good karma windows, they're back here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your astral body aura. And each one is has a shape of triple frame window like that. Triple concentric, 3 concentric squares, I think is officially how you would describe that. But I call it triple frame window. So you just comb through them. They would be the color of your energy in that astral body aura layer. So if you do the rainbow system, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, then they'll be that way. Red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. So that's too complex for you. Don't worry about it. Just use lots of gold light. Wash everything out that's not you. You good, not you bad, right? So just lots of gold light. And you want to melt away cords from invasive people. And invasive beings could be worked in there. Don't freak out about that. You are like a massive, giant, eternal soul. So these little beings that could, be motivated to mess with your good karma windows are like infinitely tinier and less powerful than you are. So if you're afraid of them, it's like you're really misunderstanding the reality of the situation. Which is possible. A lot of people are afraid of things they don't understand, even if there's really nothing to be afraid of. So I understand it, but just so you know, like you're definitely misunderstanding the ratio of your size to their size and your power to their power. But anyway, so lots of gold light. Just the angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my good karma windows, can you recycle them, please? Is that enough? Now you'll never have to say that again, or never have to say that like in the next minute or two. No, you could, that gets rid of some of them, and then you can, if you find more, just say it again to your angels. And you may have some invasive beings that are they've already worked their way through and they're kind of anchored in some of your upper chakras. So you just grab them and drag them out. Angels, here you go. Grab them, drag them out. Angels, here you go. You kind of immobilize. So as far as the target devices, they're just like flat pieces of energy. So you just lift them out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings associated with those target devices? Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings associated with those target devices? as you get more present, as you clear these out, you'll be getting more present. Then you may have a heightened sense of some of the blocks that have always been there in your base of skull area, which is why I tend to do those areas together, you know, the good karma windows and the base of skull area. But you can just, you know, backtrack just slightly and do your base of skull area and the auras behind any blocks that you might be more aware of now than you were before. First chakra at the base of the spine. Red is the ideal color for your first chakras, plural. Round opening in the front, round opening in the back, right? And so energy goes up your legs, red earth energy. Bring red earth energy up your legs, and then it goes into the front of your first chakra, and then out the back and downward. Well, out actually to all your first layer, all around, and it wraps around the front, and then goes in again. So in the front, out the back, wraps all the way around in the first layer, all the way around to the front of the first layer, and then back in again. Right? So just unblock your first chakra. Extra. And again, target chips, just pieces of energy that attract invasive beings. So check out for any of those in your first chakra or around your first chakra, and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings associated with these target chips? And then lift chips out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So we'll do that one more time. If you feel like you need to stop and do grounding, go ahead and do that. But I think people are doing very well. So first chakras, right? Have a copy of your first chakras out in front of you. Imagine any target chips that are in or around your first chakras and surround them in gold light. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings associated with these target chips? And then lift out the chips and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay. And then we'll just do target chips wherever. So for that, it might be helpful for you to make a real miniature version of yourself that's all between your hands. So top of your auras, bottom of your auras, and you're in there, and then your grounding goes down. And you can just be aware of any target chips that are healthy and gentle to get rid of anywhere in your space. Surround them in gold light. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these target chips? Deep breath while your angels do that, and then move out the target chips. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So let's see, one more time. Just imagine your everything, all your auras, your physical body, and your astral body are inside there, your groundings, and just be aware of any target chips that are in there, attracting invasive beings to you. And just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings at all associated with these target chips? In other words, like that were attracted by the target chips or placed them there in the first place. Can you recycle all those invasive beings? And then use gold light and surround the target chips and lift them out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right. So sorry about that. That was explaining and doing. So I'm just making this note to myself. Forgot to put up doing so that I can listen back later and make the accurate video chapter for doing. All right. Because later. And I'll just do a healing summary tonight. Put it in the comment section and put it in the survey. All right. I don't know about for you, but for me, that was kind of fun. So I'd be interested in your feedback on what that was like for you to have target chips removed. Okay, so we've finished the 5 essentials now, which are grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, base, and then back of head stuff, base of skull, points, and good karma windows. We've finished the 5 essentials, but we've also done some of the bigger things. I just kind of slipped them in there that we were going to do today. We've done the chakra filaments. We did that in the chakra repair section, and we did a huge, interesting, potentially, hopefully for you, interesting part with when we did base of skull points. We did a lot of unblocking of 3 different Wei Qi auras for the base of skull meridians. And then for the good karma windows section, we did a whole thing on removing target chips from the good karma windows and for chakras, which is one of the bigger things that we were going to do today. So there's that. Okay, so we're going to do clearing, energy block clearing, to help the theme, confidence, intuition, and inner silence. Maybe 1 or 2 other topics. And you could do this on your own for any topic you want that you want to work on, like better sleep or preparing for an exam or, you know, having diplomacy with your spouse or having motivation to work out consistently. stuff like that. All sorts of topics you might want to work. But let's first focus on the theme, because the whole healing is supposed to be based on the theme. So let's do confidence first. We've already done some stuff for confidence already, which is cool. The base of skull giant improvised section where we worked 3 different Wei Qi auras for the base of skull points, that helps confidence too, because governing vessel meridian and gallbladder meridian would help confidence, self-assertiveness, take charge, energy. But anyway, so let's do this for confidence. Why not? Right? Good way to start the new year. So go ahead and first, quick grounding, just redo both your groundings, your connections to the core of the earth, make them both red or both orange or both yellow, whichever helps you release the most. So you bring your groundings up as high as your 3rd chakra, which is right below your sternum bone. So bring your grounding up that high and make it wide all the way around you, as wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And use gold light from your hands to comb through your groundings and melt away anything that's blocking the flow, downward flow. And anything that's not you. Just gotta go. Gotta go. This is not a public meetings place. Everybody out. Okay. And so timeline healing is just a line that represents the passage of time. You imagine one end of it is you now. Obviously, you're most likely life is going to keep going and everything. But you just don't think about that part now. We're clearing past life baggage, right? So the one end is this life and now, and then as more you go to the other end, it's like one past life, one past life, one past life, a whole bunch of past lives, right? And so you just want to notice your top 3 lifetimes where you have confidence baggage. So baggage that if you clear it, it'll really help your confidence. Okay, so that's what we're calling confidence baggage, right? So it could be this life now is one of the top 3 lives where if you clear it, it'll really help your confidence, but maybe not. It could be 1, 2, 3 past lives, or this life plus 2 past lives, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just see the piles. You can intuit a little bit about the lifetimes where living life as a male, living life as a female. You can imagine a couple details about your life. How did you get so much confidence baggage that you didn't clear in that life? But that's optional. It's kind of interesting sometimes. And just take a deep breath and use gold light and melt away the confidence baggage. Again, we're just doing 3 lives at once. We're just focusing in on this because I think it'll help people to be less avoidant. We simplify like this. Focus in. Top 3 lifetimes of confidence baggage, melting away the baggage. Gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this process? And melt cords from people going into the baggage. If it's not melting fully, just melt everybody out of the way so you can melt all the baggage. All right. Good job. Good job. So then you could go ahead and make some confidence flowers for yourself really quickly. So you could use your hands or not. And universal healing energy, either gold and or rainbow colors, and just make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for yourself, or energy healing presents of some other shape if you prefer, like a car as a present, energy present, or, but I like healing flowers. So just make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for you to nurture your confidence in particular, and use gold light from your hands to sort of tune the flowers so that it's just the vibration that you need personally at this time to help nurture your confidence. Say, angels, can you check my confidence flowers? And then give them to yourself. One more time, make confidence flowers. Angels, can you check my confidence flowers? Give them to yourself. Breathe in. It's okay to receive. Okay, good job. You are a rock star. Okay, intuition. So intuition, imagine timeline healing. So a timeline, just a line that represents the passage of time. One end is you now in this life, in the present. And then the further you go to the other end is, one past life, another, a whole bunch of past lives, right? So you just want to imagine the top 3 past lives that have baggage that if you cleared it would really help your intuition. So you can have healthy, really enjoyable levels of intuition. Right? So nothing, not in your best interest, but as much intuition as is optimal for you to have at this time, right? That's what you want. So just imagine the 3 piles from the 3 past lives, or one of them maybe this life, but where's your intuition baggage from the top 3 lives that you need to clear right now? And then go ahead and make it happen. So it's a healthy and gentle amount. That's your intention. And you just melt away a healthy and gentle amount of this intuition baggage from 3 different lifetimes. And you can say, angels, can you help me do this? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? Melt away. Use gold light to melt cords from people. Sometimes people cord stuff. They may not mean anything by it. They just have crappy boundaries. Nobody teaches boundaries usually, so not entirely their fault. Alrighty. You can imagine another set of 3 lives of, what are the top 3 lives that if you cleared this baggage, it would help you with intuition. Just imagine the 3 different piles of intuition baggage. The angels, is this healthy and gentle to clear these 2? And if they're still there, then yes. And so then go ahead and use gold light, melt this baggage too to help your intuition. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? All right, good job. If there's any leftover baggage, just say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, and then energy healing flowers for intuition. Just make energy healing flowers for yourself or presents of some other form. Make them gold and or rainbow colors, whatever vibration is just right for you personally right now for your intuition. And tune them to that vibration. Say, angels, can you double check my intuition flowers? Deep breath, and then give them to yourself. Let them go wherever they need to go. One more time, make yourself some more intuition flowers or intuition energy presents. And say, angels, can you check my presents? And then give them to yourself. Breathe in. Okay to receive your intuition energy healing presence for yourself. All right, good job. Inner silence. Oops. Inner silence. Or inner peace. They're sort of similar, maybe exactly the same, depending on how you're thinking about it. Okay, so inner silence, inner peace. So there could be baggage, internal baggage that you have that affects your perception of external sound. External sound meaning like people, on a spirit level screaming in angst in the world, or people fighting psychically, people chattering constantly, maybe on a telepathic level, or it could be literal out loud sound like clanging pots and pans, people, whatever, life sounds. It could disturb you in a way that is much more because you have internal baggage triggered that you haven't yet cleared, right? So we could call that your sound baggage. So just imagine a timeline, right? And so this end of the timeline is you now, and then that's this lifetime. And then as you further go to the other end, it's different past lives, right? All sorts of past lives that you've had. And just imagine the top 3 lives with sound baggage. That's really good for you to clear right now. It's healthy and gentle to clear. It would totally help you with better sound boundaries. So that external sound, whether it's psychic sound, mental, emotional, or literal out loud sound, so it doesn't bother you. So it doesn't harm your inner silence, your inner serenity, your inner peace. Okay? So sound baggage, 3 top lifetimes, and go ahead and melt that sound baggage with gold light from your hands. Right? So just imagine that the sound baggage, sound baggage. Just melt it away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this, can you recycle them? And if you want, you can notice, because it is kind of interesting, like what was happening in the lifetime? Why did it give you sound baggage? Maybe it was an extremely traumatizing time period in that life that also happened to have a lot of loud sounds. So then you associate that sound with the disturbing events, let's do that one more time. So imagine your timeline and just imagine your top 3 lives with sound baggage of yours that's healthy and gentle for you to clear right now. And then go ahead and just use gold light and melt your piles of sound baggage. Melt them away. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this, can you please recycle them? Make some energy presents. You can make energy presents, energy healing flowers for yourself to help you with your inner sound, have an inner sound environment that is separate and that you can regulate yourself. And it's not overly influenced by external sound. It's just you and your thoughts maybe, and what you choose to focus on hearing, like your angels, your own higher self wisdom, whatever you want to hear. So your own sound climate, right? So we want to nourish that, your inner peace, your inner silence. So make energy healing presents for yourself. I like making them as flowers, and you could use your hands or not. Just create them with your intention if you want. But just out of universal gold light or rainbow colors or gold light, and just make a whole lot of energy healing flowers and tune them to nurture your own inner silence, your own inner sound boundaries, your own serenity. And say, angels, can you please check my flowers, my inner silence flowers? And then give them to yourself. Let them go wherever they need to go, right? And then tune those flowers so they nurture your inner serenity, your inner silence. The angels, can you double check my inner silence flowers? And then give them to yourself. Breathe in, let your energy healing presence go wherever they need to go to nurture your inner serenity. All right, good job, good job, good job. Woohoo, yay. Great job. So that was pretty cool. Hope you liked it. So that was, we did it for all 3 aspects of our theme. We did confidence, intuition, and inner silence. The angels just did a poll on a psychic telepathic level of all the people that I'm healing to pick one more that we're going to do. And the top voted item for the angels was clairvoyance. So clairvoyance, energy, either literally, like if you close your eyes and you're, healing your chakra to be able to tell, like, oh yeah, I think it's got a piece missing or something. Like you're healing your auras and you say, wow, I think there's a rip right there. That's clairvoyance, to be able to kind of see it. You know, it doesn't have to be so perfect, you know, but you just kind of can notice a little visually in your mind's eye. That's clairvoyance. But clairvoyance is also to see on subconscious levels. So I see where you're coming from. I see the way forward. You know, there's a lot of subconscious seeing that's very important as well. So that also is clairvoyance. It's just not conscious clairvoyance. So both forms are very. So that was the top rated one. So that's what we're going to do. So imagine a timeline out in front of you where there is clairvoyance related baggage blocking you from having better clairvoyance. So because you want a healthy amount of clairvoyance, so it's really enjoyable and you know, safe and nourishing and productive for you on subconscious and conscious levels, right? So find your clairvoyance baggage, top 3 lifetimes, and say, angels, is this healthy and gentle to clear right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this clearing? And then go ahead and just melt the baggage. Melt everybody and melt this clairvoyance baggage. Top 3 lifetimes of clairvoyance baggage. And you can notice, you know, what happened in the lifetime as you're melting away. You know, why did you end up with so much baggage around clairvoyance? And you can say, you know, angels, please help me to have a healthy level of clairvoyance. Right? Because what's a healthy level of clairvoyance for you in this lifetime may be different than the last life, may be different from the amount of clairvoyance you would have wanted 10 years ago in this life. So some people have sort of a blanket fear of certain abilities, which is totally not necessary. It's just you want to have the amount of ability that is productive and healthy for you and stabilizing and fun. Right? So you can make energy healing flowers for yourself to help nourish healthy clairvoyance. I say, angels, can you check my clairvoyance flowers? And then give them to yourself. And you can go ahead again, do that again. Make as many energy healing for yourself to help nurture your clairvoyance. Tune them to just the right vibration so that you can nurture your own healthy level of clairvoyance. And say, angels, can you check my clairvoyance flowers? And then give them to yourself. All right, that was cool. Interesting vote there, guys. All right, good job, good job, good job. How about that? Past life clearing and energy healing flowers to. Why not? Why not indeed? Okay. Okay. So here you can see my fabulous diagram. So what the heck is that? Well, your 7th chakra is in the top of your head, right? And so that bucket looking thing right there, that's supposed to be a 7th chakra. And you have 2 7th chakras, right? You have one for your physical body and one for your astral body. And purple is an ideal color for your 7th chakras. So you could set them to your favorite shade of purple. And then you have a connection between your 7th chakra and well, your astral seventh chakra in particular, to your above your head. Just so it's that orange sun right there, because I didn't have a gold dry erase marker, of course. So that's the eighth chakra right there. It's supposed to be gold. So that, and there's a gold connection between the eighth chakra and the seventh chakra. So if this is the top of your aura, then your eighth chakra could be a foot above that, or even like 8 feet above that. Your eighth chakra like gets closer and further away, depending on how meaningless or how valuable you are, the activity you're doing is to your higher self. So like if you're watching something truly vapid, uninteresting to your higher self will kind of move up a little. For some reason, I always think of the example of say yes to the dress as, as something that would probably move your eighth chakra up and away. There was just some, I don't know if they still have that show, but it was like, it's a show about women picking bridal gowns. That's the whole show. And yes, I used to watch it a long time ago, quite a bit. So anyway, it's really good to unblock this connection and repair. You can have hard objects sticking in, causing damage like I'm showing there, and then that would allow invasive energy to get into that connection. So you're not just getting the gold light and eternal wisdom and healing energy from your eighth chakra, you're getting some random muck from invasive energies, which we don't want, right? So let's do it. Let's repair. Okay, so imagine your seventh chakra, your astral seventh chakra, and your eighth chakra, and then the gold connection, gold flowing connection between the two. And just pop out any hard objects with the gold light. Just have them out and explode. And the angels, if there are any invasive beings anywhere near my seventh to eighth connection, can you recycle them? And pop out the hard objects. Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings and repair the damage? And you can intuit, like, okay, in this part of my seventh to eighth connection, it's like 100% pure, 100% pure, 50% pure. There must be some kind of damage or blocks. And then you just find the blocks and melt the blocks. Okay, 100% pure, 100% pure, 70% pure. So there's still some stuff. So go back and unblock. 100% pure, 100% pure. All the way to the seventh chakra, 100% pure. All right. 100% pure, meaning it's just the energy from your eighth chakra with no invasive yuckiness mixed in. And then you can unblock the top of your astral seventh chakra just a little extra, because if you have some baggage there, then it's like you brought this pure awesomeness, and then it gets filtered through like, some kind of shame baggage or whatever is right on top here. It gets all mucked up at the last minute. So just unblock the top of your seventh chakra. Take a couple deep breaths. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your ankles. Wiggle your toes. All right. Good job. Good job. So the next thing I want to do Hold on one sec. Hmm. Hmm. All right, it's not gonna happen. Oh wait. Oh, found it finally. Man. Mm. How hard was that? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so what I want to do is unblock your spine and do energy healing on your spine. Oh, boo. So what I want to do is unblock your spine and help you, because there are nerves that come from your spinal cord to like down your shoulders and arms, and they affect your fingers and how your fingers feel. And there are nerves that go, leave your spinal column, your spinal cord, and go, down your legs, all sorts of cool things. So I want to do spine unblocking to like help the energy flow of the vertebrae, the spinal discs in between the vertebrae, but then also the nerves that leave your spinal cord and go out into different parts of your body. I think that'll be fun. So let's do it. And I don't have a good diagram of all those nerves, but if we do it again, maybe by then I'll have a good diagram. We'll see. We shall see. Okay. So just imagine your spine. And I know that diagram shows a side view, but you don't have to look at it this way. You can look at it, head on from behind if you want, or from in front, I suppose, if you want. But I would do from behind. Anyway, you just use gold light. You can use red earth energy too for any body stuff. You can bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth and do like an earth energy soak of your spinal cord and the discs, the vertebral discs in between. Soak them in red earth energy. And this stuff is really important. Like if you've ever had an injury, like if your discs get dislocated or even partially dislocated, which I learned the hard way is called subluxated. It can affect even, your fingers or your elbow or, all sorts of things. It's pretty fascinating. So you can imagine like the nerves that are leaving, you can imagine like the most significant ones that are leaving your spinal column, spinal cord, and going where they need to go, and just use gold light and kind of burn off the hard black stuff, if there is any, and just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my spine or my nerves, can you recycle them? So weird. Well, I mean, a simple way, you could just imagine the nerves in your body that most need energy healing as a composite. So like it looks like one nerve, but it's a composite and it represents every nerve in your body that most needs healing, right? And then bring up red earth energy and soak this composite copy nerve in red earth energy and lots of gold light. If there's any hard objects, just pop them out. Angels, if there are any invasive beings affecting these nerves, can you please recycle them? Yeah, just use lots of gold light. You want your energy to freely flow, your body's energy, your energy to freely flow through the nerve without, like little traffic jam areas. And again, you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now, and that's it, right? Because you can always do more at another time. And you can just do a little bit more up and down your spine. Pop out any hard objects. Do some repair. Hold light for your hands. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my spine or my vertebrae or my spinal discs or my spinal cord or my nervous system, can you please recycle them? Oh, right. That's kind of cool. For me, but I don't know how it was for you, but you can let me know how that was for you. Either right at the end of the healing or in your healing, put it later under the video later. However you wish. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's wrap it up. We'll just clear some leftover energy blocks that are still triggered, called stubborn triggered energy blocks, stubborn triggered energy blocks. We'll do some more healing flowers again. We've already done, but I don't think you can do too many of those. So just imagine your everything, a copy of your everything out in front of you. Your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside there. Both your groundings going all the way down to the core of the earth, nice and wide as all your auras. If your groundings are not wide, just keep using gold light till they pop out and become nice and wide as all your auras, so that your auras can release as well as possible. Okay? And just use lots of gold light. And nice wide band of gold light, gold energy up and down your spine, around all your major chakras along your spine. So you're aligning your chakras, and you're aligning even the magnetic fields around the chakras, so they all click into place. Both your groundings. Sweep together all the junk in your grounding. Use so much gold light that you melt it away. Sweep together all the junk in your grounding. Use so much gold light you melt it away. All right. So stubborn triggered energy blocks that still haven't cleared, even though we've done so much. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it all your stubs. Anything that's still triggered on any level for any reason, just pile it out in front of you. angels, you can ask your angels, is this too much to clear all this right now? So that way, say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you recycle them? Yeah, just use thoughts of gold light and melt the baggage fully. Again, pile on top of the gold blanket, any internal baggage, any energy blocks that are still triggered on any level, bugging you on any level, conscious or subconscious. And say, angels, is it okay? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. Angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings blocking this clearing? And just use so much gold light. You clear it all away. Or you just wash people out with gold light and then blow it all up. That's fun too. And if there's any leftovers, just wrap them up in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right, then make some healing presents for yourself. Energy healing flowers or some other form of present that you would like. Make them out of universal healing energy, gold light and or rainbow colors. So make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for yourself to nurture your intuition, your confidence, your inner silence, your inner serenity, and whatever other things you want to work on. And take all those healing presents and just tune them just right for you to nourish you right now. And then say, angels, can you check my healing presents? And then give them to yourself. Deep breath. One more time, make a bunch of healing presents for yourself to nurture your intuition, your confidence, your inner silence, your inner serenity, your inner peace. And just tune them with gold light from your hands, tune them to just the right vibration for you. And say, angels, can you double check my flowers or my healing presents? And then give them to yourself. Breathe in, let yourself absorb them wherever you need to. You can redo your gold buffer zones. All right. Good job. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! All right. Okay, so the healing itself is done, and you might want to do some stretching yourself. I'm not an instructor. Everybody's different, so just do your own stretching that you like to do. That's gentle enough for you. And then after follow-up questions about the themes or some topic that I brought up during the live stream, those would be especially appreciated. And of course, you can always save your comment for later in the post-healing survey. If I healed you, you'll be getting a survey link to fill out a survey, or you could post it later under the video as a video comment if you wish. Okay, so I will be back. Let's see. Let me get rid of the camera so you don't watch an empty seat. Let's give you a different image. No, that's a nice image. All right, I'll be back. Hey, I'm back. I'm going to do some stretching. You could too if you choose to. Just for a minute. Ah, breaks are good. All right. So I'm going to look for comments I haven't read yet. And if I'm tight on time, I will prioritize comments from newbies that have never commented before. Of course, I'm just taking a guess based on if I recognize the YouTube name or not. If you did, especially if you're a newbie, if you did want me to take a quick look at you, put your initials, first and last initials, with your comment, because that helps me to see you better. Let's see. I didn't read these comments before, really. Okay. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago. 24 Fahrenheit and snowy. Wow. Well below freezing. Well, I know you're staying warm. Chicagoans know how to dress warm. So, Was this hello from Chris? Oh, you're just saying your name. In 64 degrees and sunny Las Vegas. 64 and sunny. That's pretty nice for December. I would take that. This is hello from DC, Washington, DC, the nation's capital of the United States. Rah, rah, rah. Cold, 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that is cold. Even for someone, even for me, that would be cold. Not like, we'll get that cold, of course. Just we're not that cold right now. Sometimes in the middle of the night we are. Sorry, Janet, but I can't hear you. Okay, so I'll skip over all the sound comments, but thank you so much for those back then. It's always important to have that type of feedback. I'm reading a comment, but I'm not gonna. Okay, most of the timeline healing. The audio was out, then came back for one sentence, then another sentence for target shifts, then the audio went out. Ooh, I hope that's not true in the video, because that was cool stuff. I'll check though. Yeah, I'll check the video. I mean, of course, there's nothing I can do if the sound isn't good. But I mean, I did the healing, but it's nice to be able to hear what I was saying as I did the healing. But yeah, we just cleared the top 3 lifetimes of baggage, and for each of the theme, aspects: confidence, intuition, inner silence. And also then for clairvoyance, we did it too after that. And so we would clear the top 3 lives of baggage, top 3 lifetimes of baggage, say for intuition, right? And then I think with intuition and with inner silence, we did it 2 rounds of it. We made sure with the angels it wasn't too much. And then we did healing flowers for, the confidence, healing flowers for intuition, healing flowers for inner silence. And then we did it for clairvoyance too. So yeah, hopefully the audio is good on the recording for that. Hi, Janet. More glitches. Started talking about negative Betty and target shifts. Yeah, I'll hear about the target shifts was a different section, so I'll see if hopefully the recording's okay for that. We'll see. More sound stuff. Someone says regarding ghosts, it's cool and creepy. It's so funny because I don't think of it as creepy, but one time the angels gave me this dream. I'm really grateful for it. They gave me a dream that I remembered, where I was a ghost, but it was like where I used to live, this building, and I felt just how it would feel to be a ghost. And it was weird because it was like I felt like I lived there, but nobody could see me. And I was like, this is so weird. Why can't anyone see me? And I was like walking around like my building where I live, and I was like, nobody can see me. Nobody can hear me. I'm talking. Nobody can hear me. And so I really got to feel what it feels like to be a ghost. So I'm very grateful for that because ghosts don't creep me out, and I have a really strong empathy for them because of that dream. So I like that. But anyway, so you're saying regarding ghosts, can we use sage to keep home cleansed? See, sage, I mean, I don't think ghosts would leave because of sage. Ghosts are not dark, like sage, I think I'm not an expert on using sage, but I would think of sage as a way of clearing out darkness or negativity, like addiction energy or something, or, but some ghost is like you or me, but they just didn't happen to cross over. So they're not really dark. They're just kind of screwed. They're not, so I don't, and I mean, the reason they came to you is because you can see them on a spirit level. And so that's not going to go away. You're not going to unsee ghosts, right? So you're going to be walking through your day and you can see them on a subconscious spirit level. And that's real, and you're not going to lose that. And so you're always going to be picking up ghosts. So you can either spend your whole life chasing them out of your apartment, or you can just cross them over, for God's sakes, and be done with it and be nice and get great karma, insanely good karma for doing it. And it would take a minute to cross over, 4 different ghosts. And that would be kind of cool. I don't know. It's up to you. But if you want to keep chasing them away for the rest of your life, as you keep attracting them for the rest of your life, that is totally your choice. And if that's what you feel more comfortable with, I just don't think that's going to work. So, but make your own choice. I ask angels for standing agreement to give angel clean out when anyone enters. Will it work on ghosts too? Well, again, they don't really need clean outs. They just need to see their angels and to cross over. They don't really, it's not like they were bad, malevolent, and that's why they're ghosts. They just couldn't see their angels, and so. But anyway, it's not going to keep ghosts out. No. And besides, ghosts can follow you around when you're trying to take an exam in a public building. Ghosts can follow you around anywhere. Okay, I think your angels would keep ghosts away from you when you're taking an exam in a public building. But if you have a big backlog of them, your angels might be like, you're being insensitive to not cross them over. Because you know about it. You know what I mean? Like if you never knew about them, maybe your angels would be like, all right, for the test, we'll keep them away. But if you know about them and you're just like feeling like, well, screw them, I think after a while your angels might be like, that's pretty cold-hearted of her. I don't think we're going to block them anymore. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's something to work out on your own. All I can do is teach you how to do them and tell you it's super good karma and do with it what you will. Somebody says, hi, Janet. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. Is there any interference if I work on myself during the session? Not at all. It's fine. I encourage that if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of people work on themselves during the session. Yeah, no, there's no interference at all. That's great. If you worked with some big skanky being that wasn't an angel, sure, that would be interference. But you don't do that. So, yeah, no. Yeah, if you were doing some awful, terrible, dark ritual at the same time, that would get in the way. But yeah, if you're just, following along and, improvising and doing some healing that you see necessary at the same time, or doing the same techniques at the same time, it's fine. People do that. That's the thing. Because some people find that their abilities are enhanced during the healing itself because, they're being healed. And so it's sort of like a more supported time, So yeah, plenty of people do that. I just don't talk about it a lot because I don't want everyone that has less motivation and less, geekiness to feel like they're misbehaving by not healing themselves at the same time, Plenty of people take a nap at the same time or just, work a corporate job at the same time, whatever. But yeah, but healing yourself while you get the healing is a commonly enjoyed activity. And it'd be interesting, you could put in your survey if you do, like what the difference is for you between meditating on your own at some point and meditating, energy healing on yourself during the healing. It's always interesting. The whole video was buffering. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that feedback at the time. I appreciate it. More sound comments, more sound comments, more sound comments, more sound comments, which I do appreciate at the time. Someone says, hi, Janet, what does it mean if you feel heavier energy on the right side, like it feels like energy's behind or beside you on the right side? It depends. I can look at you specifically. To me, your right side looks, the grounding looks blocked. So that creates like a traffic jam, so like if you just unblock your grounding on the right side, and especially in the back right, And then unblock the back of your auras more. I think you're getting more present, but then you're feeling blocks that have been there. They're not new, but as you get more present, you feel the blocks that are already there. So yeah, I would just comb through the back of your auras, especially back right, and your grounding, especially back right. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think you're feeling blocks that you didn't feel before. I think especially your urinary bladder meridian, Wei Qi aura. I'll go back to that graphic. That took me so long to set up during the healing. But no, it's just right. So that yellow meridian up and down the back, that's the urinary bladder meridian, which on an energy level should be red, not yellow, but it's just for the diagram. So if you do a little extra healing on the right 2 branches of the urinary bladder meridian as it goes down your back, and then the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura, so the gold flowing aura that's just to support and protect the urinary bladder meridian. It goes all around you, but just especially the right back part of it, I think is like, so right behind the spine, right behind those 2 branches on the right, and just, comb back and just kind of work on that a little bit. Unblock more with gold light. So yeah, it's just some extra blocks. More comments about the audio. I so hope the video is nice. We'll see. Great confetti. All good now. Lightly register all of your 17 auras. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so here are some post-healing comments we're getting to. Thanks for the healing, Janet. Today's been a rough day. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been dealing with a lot of abandonment triggers. The angels recommend me to do a blanket exercise for the abandonment issues. The abandonment issues mainly come from my mom's side of the family. Am I reading that correctly? Well, I mean, when what I like to look at with that is like, okay, well, in your most recent past lives, did you also have abandonment issues? Like say, maybe it only shows up in female lifetimes. So you want to check a couple, like the last like 5 or 6, did I have abandonment issues? Yes, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes. So it seems like the most recent female lifetimes of yours, you also had abandonment issues. So does it mean that your mom's side of the family doesn't have abandonment issues? No. It's just sometimes you choose people that have similar baggage as you do because it's going to force you to clear your own baggage because it's going to get so triggered being around those people in this lifetime. But I think that's really more of what's happening is both you and your mom's people on your mom's side of the family have abandonment issues. I mean, because when you think about it, there's so many reasons you can have abandonment baggage, right? And people rarely clear that stuff. They just end up getting stuck in sadness or fear or, resentment or, all that stuff. So, so I don't think it's mainly coming from your mom's side of the family. No, I think it's past life stuff. So of yours. But they sort of trigger it for you. And so it kind of forces you to deal with it rather than avoid it for another lifetime. So that's the benefit of having family members that annoy you. It might force you to evolve. So I hope that makes sense. You could use that technique that we did today, the timeline healing, and look at, the last 3 lifetimes where you've had the most abandonment baggage, uncleared leftover abandonment baggage, and then just, say, angels, is this okay to clear all this? And then just melt it away, and then give yourself, nourishing flowers to help with your abandonment issues. Angels, can you check them? Give them to yourself, so nourish and clear. But if you pick specifically that, the whatever lifetimes, including this one, are the top 3, piles of uncleared abandonment baggage of yours, and then just, melt those all at once. So I hope that helps. So you were kind of reading it. I see what you're seeing, and it's accurate, but it didn't come from them. It gets triggered by them, but it's yours from past lives. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, so wait, I'm gonna, yeah, that's good enough. Someone says, hi, Janet, jumped on a bit late. Well, welcome. There's no need to say sorry. It's not like there's no on time or late, really. I think I've been getting wax from an ex. Neck and spine feeling tight and sore. Not sure if the two are related. Can you see? Well, okay, so thankfully you gave me your read first, which I prefer because, you're no newbie. You can practice using your own intuition. And yeah, I think you're right. You did get the healing though, but yeah, some of it is kind of persistent. Some of it's still there. It was worse before the healing, but it's still like the rips were bigger before the healing. Now they're more narrow. Why are they still there? There were some hard objects. The hard objects didn't all pop out. So what you would do is you have a copy of your auras out in front of you, like you imagine it like a big orange or something, and then the hard objects kind of stick out of the orange, and you could just use sticky gold wax and just lift out all the hard objects. So then you just have these puncture holes in your auras, represented by an orange, and just use a lot of gold light. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And then just repair up the holes in your auras. So yes. I think you talked to your ex on the astral for some reason, and then they whacked you a whole bunch. So it's not like it's your fault or anything, but you communicated with them right before they started whacking you. If they keep whacking you, you could there's a video, angel assisted conflict resolution flowers. It's one of the short videos in the short video playlist. The title starts with AA, angel assisted conflict resolution flowers. So AA conflict resolution flowers. And it's just, energy healing flowers that you make that, hopefully are at a vibration that would help that person to chill out. But they're universal gold light. It's not a manipulative thing. And then you say, angels, can you double check these flowers and only deliver them if they will help? And then you let go of the situation. Your angels maybe deliver them if it's going to help. And they clean them out first just to make sure you're not doing anything manipulative, because that would be super bad karma for you and not worth it. So, but you could try that too. But it seems like as if you stop talking to that person, then they will stop whacking you. Whatever you're saying to them, they feel like is they have a problem with whatever you were saying to them. So you can just, say, angels, help me to have healthy boundaries with this person. Maybe that would be nice. Okay. Someone else is saying, thanks, Janet. Feeling anxious about work tomorrow. I'm on a hard shift and nervous about the supervisor tomorrow, thinking I'm stupid. My self-assess must be past life fear. I have a lot of self-doubt too. And then you're mentioning your spouse in a really good mood. Oh, that's awesome. Seems in flow with work projects. Ooh, that's great. Yay. when I look at that supervisor, I don't have their initials, but I'm just winging it and looking at their energy. They seem like somebody who has, you know, that expression resting bitch face? Like that person has like resting bitch telepathy. I don't know if it's male or female, but resting bitch telepathy where they're kind of like they give off this vibe like they're judging you, but they're not. I mean, it's not like they never judge anybody, but they really have this, they give off a very judgy vibe. So I think that's what you're reacting to. But it's like a resting bitch face thing. Like they don't know how to turn it off. Like they give that vibe off to most people. That would suck. I think I had that a long time ago. Like when I was in my 20s, this woman, she thought I was mad at her and I wasn't at all. And I think I had that, but with only women. Because I had a lot of mommy issues back then. I mean, not that I'm perfect now, but I had much more uncleared mommy issues back then. And so I was giving this woman some kind of resting bitch face that she was picking up on. And she like really took me to task about it and like scared the shit out of me. I'm like, what are you talking about? But eventually I cleared it, you know. But anyway, so I think this person just has resting bitch face, like telepathically. So I don't, maybe that helps you to not take it personally. Yeah, I mean, I would think your angels want you to more focus on, okay, so it's a hard shift. So how do you just be at your best? You know, like, you know, maybe do some extra grounding unblocking, you know, if you get a bathroom break for a second, you know, do like at least 2 grounding unblockings and maybe like an earth energy soak and maybe like walk around with an earth energy soak. Because hospitals, it's pretty easy to, I'm assuming you're at a hospital working, they're pretty easy to pick up, you know, a lot of odd energy from like medication, people on medication, from, you know, visiting families and their anxiety and, you know, people, financial concerns, especially in the US, you know, with our healthcare system, you know, a lot of people in fear in and around a hospital. So, you know, if you do like an earth energy soak, you know, red, orange, yellow earth energy, or just pick one of those colors and just leave it up as a soak, you know, just so you kind of are below the madness. Maybe like a blue earth energy soak for just your mind, you know, if you don't have time during the shift, you know, just like before and after, just to like clear the slate, you know, clear your mind. But that's really what your angels want you to focus on is, you know, how do you, what kind of proactive self-care and during the shift self-care is realistic and doable and most beneficial for you. Like, you know, melting cords after you talk to somebody, you know, after you see a client, as you walk out, just have gold light, you know, melt all the cords, you know, or, you know, like just in between, you know, on bathroom breaks, just gold light, melt all the cords, reground, earth energy soak. Something simple, you know. But past life fear about all that, with that, I just think it's the person's resting bitch face and that triggers you. But, you know, not your fault. You could clear stabs about it, but your angels think it's sort of a distraction. Just work on general how to be healthier as you work type concepts. Hope that helps. Someone says feeling off, amount of anxiety, fear of missing out, FOMO, unbelonging. Looking at your YouTube ID, I don't think you got the healing, which is fine. You're welcome to heal yourself and comment. I'm just trying to figure out. So The easiest thing for you to do would be to work your grounding, because your grounding kind of goes in like a funnel rather than going straight down. It starts wide and then it gets really narrow. So just like think of the bottom half of your grounding, and just, use a lot of gold fire, gold water, or whatever, and just melt away the junk so that it spreads out again. So it's like straight down, and like unblock your grounding more. And maybe do an earth energy soak, like I was telling the other person, just bring up maybe red earth energy from the core of the earth, or orange or yellow, and just soak everything in the earth energy, because it's like you're just kind of, it's almost like your lower half is like frozen. There's not enough flow there. There's not enough grounding and releasing. You can maybe unblock, like with gold light, unblock your auras above your head and below your feet a little extra, because that's usually is an easy way to kind of open up the flow in your auras, is work the very bottom and the very top. So grounding, wide grounding at the bottom, and unblock the top and the bottom of your auras. So I hope that helps. The short video playlist, I don't know if you've ever used that, but there are a lot of different things you could do on that. Really any of those might be nice. There's 2 on grounding in that playlist. It's featured on my YouTube channel page. It says short videos of 2024 and 2025. I'm going to have to add 2026 to it soon. But anyway, there are 2 grounding videos in there. Yeah, you just look like you're like sort of sitting on your lap. You're not in your legs. You maybe do some stretching, just like lower yourself down, because if you're like above like that, then it's hard to clear energy. Hope that helps. So it says, thank you, Janet. Feeling mellow. I loved the timeline healing with the top 3 past lives. Oh, good. That sounds like you actually heard it. I'm still having some compulsive spending issues, and I'm wondering if working top 3 past lives for compulsive spending would help. Yes, that sounds like a great idea. And it could be really interesting for you to read, because you're not a newbie, so you could use your intuition and read even just simple details about those past lives, and why is it that you have so much, compulsive spending baggage from those past lives. Yeah, that could be kind of fascinating. Yeah. Cool. Someone says, oh, wow, just joining. Sorry, I didn't fill out the form of the survey, but I felt pretty good Saturday, confident, which is unusual. Since 2 hours ago today, I've been feeling sad, triggered likely by external challenges. Yeah, or your mom sitting on your lap is what I'm looking at. Your mom's in your space. She's like sitting like right on your lap. I don't know what's up with her right now, but yeah. She's a little clingy at the moment. You could try, that technique, invasive, what is that? Invasive people room, melt floor. I think I have such weird names for techniques. But remember that technique? That could be fun to do for your mom. Like whatever blocks that cause her to make it so easy for her to just jump in your space and use your lap like a hammock, and just melt those blocks so that it pops out. That is a video in the short video playlist called Invasive People Room Melt Floor. It might be like, get people out of your space. Invasive People Room Melt Floor. But it's a short one. It's one of the short ones, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. Someone says, did you mention your sister, your beloved sister, whose company you enjoy so much? Did she get into her lower chakras? Doubtful. I mean, if she got into her middle chakras, that would be impressive. You know, you can't, growth is incremental. Let's see. Yeah, she's still just in 7654. There's so much to clear out of her fourth chakra. Fourth chakra is like, you know, if it gets blocked, you feel resentful, you know, yada yada. Judgy. Her angels did like the healing for her. They say she cleared a lot. It's just there's so much. Like from, I mean, I guess the reason you got her the healing is because she keeps punishing you. Is she more likely to stop that now? Not yet, no. I think though, you could, you know, just keep asking your angels, angels, can you help me to have healthy boundaries with my sister? Because they say that you got good karma by giving her these healings, because she really does need the healings, even though like there's not instant payback for you, because she's kind of got this big backlog of baggage to clear. So, but your angels will give you more protection because of the good karma that you got from getting her the healings that she really did need, does still need, really. But they're not like obligating you to get her more healings. They're just saying that even just the healings that you've already gotten her, you have more good karma, so you can ask your angels for healthy boundaries, help from the angels between you and your sister. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, third is next for her. if she were, yeah, to clear even more, she could get into her third. But 2 and 1, that's a while down the road, a ways down the road. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Other modalities mention." Here you are with this stuff. What other people say. Why don't you say this? Hi, Janet. Other modalities mention some past life issues. Must identify the emotion and some circumstances about it to release it. Yeah, that's bullshit. I.e., you must experience it. Well, if that's what you want to do, go for it. Yeah, no. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's bullshit. That's my opinion. Blocked energy is blocked energy. You could get 20 years of therapy about it. You could write 5 journals about it, or you could just fucking clear it. You choose. There are people that will choose the other ways and then write big books telling everybody to choose the other ways, but it's not my preference. That's my opinion. It's not that therapy isn't cool. I mean, I did get 3 years of therapy back in the day, and it was helpful, but yeah. Identifying the emotion of a past, yeah, no, no, and no. It makes no sense. I mean, it's just blocked energy. So, you know, you melt away the people that are courting it. You have angels recycle the invasive beings that are courting it, and you can melt it with gold light. Bam, Bob's your uncle. So, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to riddle why these people are so stuck and complicated. But that's that. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thank you so much for the healing." You're welcome. I am still dating this person, but yesterday and today I started to feel a lot of hesitation about the relationship. I think it could be my sister in my space. Again, I am reading that the angels still like him. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like your energy, the hesitation. It seems like some kind of interference. So yeah, I would agree with your read. Is it your sister specifically? Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's funny. Yeah. Genetic relatives. Some people have ones that, you know, it's like such a bonus in your life, and some people have ones that it's mostly just a challenge. But, you know, it's just what it is. It's learning. Yeah, the angels still like him, and you still like him, it looks like. When it's like if you, she's like in your physical body space, so it looks like if you were to do an out of body meditation, she wouldn't be in your space, and then you could tell that you still liked him. But yeah, just you can just clear out. Somebody says the healing impact was very gentle. I had a left shoulder pain all day and up to the end of base of skull section, almost 70% is better. I did some work on the scapula and clavicle bone and Wei Chi auras around. Well, that sounds fun. But I feel it's not 100%. What else am I missing? My audio comment was for the summary of techniques. It was fine during the healing. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, good. Interesting. Well, I guess that's okay because I'll be writing a healing outline that people can read in the comment section. So I guess it could be worse. So anyway, left shoulder base it. So let's look at left shoulder, base of skull, left shoulder pain all day, up to base of skull section. Wei Chi auras around, but I feel it is not 100%. You know, there's that playlist I made somewhat recently, shoulder meridian playlist, which just has the meridians of the that go through the shoulder and neck. It's like neck and shoulder meridian playlist on my, you know, the playlist page of the playlist tab of my YouTube channel. And because I think some of those Wei Chi auras, I still see weirdness, like big blocks, like that, you know, the brown, the dark brown line there, that's the small intestine meridian, and it looks like that one still has a big hole in it there. And the Sanjiao meridian, that's the like bright turquoise one that you see going along the shoulder there. That one, like around just right directly behind your shoulder blade, that's got a hole there. And urinary bladder one looks very nice. Large intestine one, you can't quite see it in this diagram, but it's goes on the top of your shoulder. That one seems okay. So I would just say small intestine and Sanjiao meridian Wei Chi auras, redo those, the healing all in that area. And that playlist could be nice. I don't know if you did that or if you just did like, you know, gallbladder, urinary bladder, and governing vessel meridian Wei Chi auras and not the others. But yeah, there's like 6. But that playlist also has stomach meridian and CVGV and all it's a cool playlist actually. I should do it again myself. But anyway, that's I'll link that in the chat. Let's see. Looking for that playlist. Playlists. There's a knee meridian playlist, which is cool. Here we go. Shoulder, back, neck meridians. And then, hope I'm not irritating my computer by looking that up. My laptop just fan started going more. Shoulder, back, neck meridian playlist. And then there it is right there. Bam, bam, bam. So people can find it in the chat comments later. But they don't show up until a day later. But it, like I said, it's also on my YouTube channel page under playlists. Okay. I hope that helped. It says, thank you, Janet. I zoned out during the healing and played video games with the boys. I am feeling in Zen when I think of home, but am having a bit of anxiety how I have work tomorrow. I think clearing my work week ahead of time, very smart, can help, and also doing melting room exercises. Yes, that whole, what is that, invasive people room melt floor exercise. Which is a video in my short video playlist. Also work on my 6th to give me confidence may help. Thank you. 6th would be more clairvoyance, non-judgment, which could be interesting actually for work. Yeah, I think that was an angel suggestion. But it's not so much confidence. 7th is more confidence, one in the top of the head. You could do 6th and 7th. Fun would be like, well, fun, geeky fun. You could do creative rings and 7th and 6th because they're so close to each other. They all work together, so you could, just heal creative rings 7th and 6th. That would be fun. It'd be like a work preparation. You could have like a work preparation thing, just a couple things that you do to prepare for your work week on a meditation wise. And then maybe a midweek to-do list as far as like, okay, check this, heal this. That could be interesting. To help you kind of be more present and enjoy your work days more. So yeah, but I would agree with your read. Those are some great suggestions. Good job. Someone says, hi, Janet, just listen to your video. It's automatically healing or something else. Can clear my point. Yes, correct. Oops, no, different person. Okay. So your comment is just listen to your video. It's automatically healing or something else. Can clear my point. Okay, so I explained it, but that's in the beginning and it was a long time ago in the stream. So, great question. The live stream is not really automatically healing. I mean, I think, the vibration of the person who is speaking, can have a different effect on you. So like if you listen to a YouTuber who like has a lot of anger issues or whatever, that can affect you. Or like someone who has a lot of mental sort of chaos, that can affect you. So in that sense, because I meditate very regularly and I prepare a lot for this particular live stream, every time, yes, there could be a healing effect because I'm talking to angels at the time. So, and I'm doing energy healing. So in that sense, yes, listening to it would have a healing effect, but not in the way that you mean. Like I'm not healing anyone that listens live. I know there are some streamers that do that. I wouldn't consider doing that personally, for energy safety reasons and boundary reasons, etc., for many, many reasons. But people purchase a set of healings in advance on my website, and then I prepare and I clear my blocks and I get my safety with healing those people in advance. And then, so during the live stream, I'm healing those particular people that purchased this as a set of healings on my website. So the rates are pretty reasonable. So you could check out my website if you're interested in the future in receiving a healing. But there are plenty of people that for whatever reason, did not purchase this set of healings, and they are listening and using it as a walkthrough to heal themselves. So they do probably pretty closely to what I'm doing. They just do it on themselves. And so in that sense, you know, that's why I say watch and heal yourself. I think that's what I say. Heal yourself as you watch, something like that. So that means you are doing energy healing on yourself, like I'm doing, you know, which, because at the beginning of the stream, maybe it makes more sense when you start at the beginning of the stream, because I talk about, you know, after the big intro, then once we start the healing, I talk about, okay, set your hand chakras to gold using your intention. And then that generates gold light, and then use that to unblock your hands. And then, you know, so I walk you through, like, this is how you start healing yourself. So I can see why that would be confusing. If you just come in later, you're like, okay, how is this healing? You know? But yeah, it's a self-healing walkthrough. But then I'm also healing the people that purchase the healing. And that's really my focus, is to do the best job on for the people that purchased it, but also to educate anybody who wants to listen. I hope that makes sense. If you have other questions, feel free to post them. But if I don't get to them, you know, just post them under any video at any time, and eventually I get to them. Yeah, but if you wanted to, you could purchase a healing set. Like there's a set later this month, and then the January sets are all up on my website, which is jwhealing.com. I guess I'll take out those dots in case people think that's part of the website address. Okay. Thank you for your question. And I do 5 of these live streams every month, and you are welcome to watch and heal yourself any one that you want. Bring any one of them. Someone says, yes, correct. I was just healing along this time. Thanks, Janet. I see. Doing that right now. Okay. Good to know. Hi, Janet. While studying for the exam, I tend to get really worked up, ruminating, and get totally distracted, and am unable to concentrate on the question. I am doing the reduce exam anxiety with pearl necklace exercise to clear past baggage with exams. Best thing to do while in the exam: grounding, and clear the grounding with gold sandstorm and the 7th, 8th chakra connection. Okay, so you're wanting my comments on that self-assessment. Yeah, I mean, when you're studying for the exam, if you get really worked up, your grounding blocked up. And your grounding blocks up really often when you're studying. So I would say maybe you could take stretch breaks more often, or eat more protein, and or also just unblock your legs, you know, but yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, yeah, there's past life baggage around exams and stuff, but it's mostly just your grounding blocks up, you know, which could be, sometimes it's your mom jumps in your grounding and kind of sits on your lap a little bit. A lot of time it's your mom, seems like lately. So you could maybe ask your angels for help with healthy boundaries with your mom. You could do that, like the video we've been talking about a lot, you know, invasive people room melt floor exercise. That's a short video where you just imagine a room that and the people that are in your space are in the room, and then the floor represents the energy blocks that allow them to be in your space and make it so easy for them to be there. And then you just melt the floor, melting those energy blocks, and then they pop out of the room. They pop out of your space. Oh yeah, but yeah, it's. I would say keep it simple. It's just you lose your grounding. You know, you don't have a lot of flow in your legs when you're studying in general. I think it's just, I don't know why. You just, I guess it's not just you, you know, people get like in their head, you know, that expression, be in your head. They're like only in their head, not like below. So try to remind yourself, hey, I have legs, I have a butt, I have hips, you know, like just, be there, just kind of come back to earth, land the plane. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, those clearing exercises wouldn't hurt, that's for sure. But yeah, I would say just think even more basic, legs, feet chakra, stretching, protein, that kind of thing. Someone says, I mentioned this, I think, in one of my surveys, but I've been feeling really strong and confident lately, and sometimes that feels wrong. Like I'm being a jerk or have an ego. Feeling like, yeah, it's totally your mom. Sometimes it's your sister, though, too. Feels like my mom trying to shut that down. Did I read that right? Yeah, you did read that right. Yeah. Yeah, how dare you be confident? All right, cool. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are getting stronger and stronger intuition. Good for you. Super cool. Let's do a quick Orson update. Why not? Okay, so we have a cat that's always in our front yard every night for large parts of the day as well. And we have named him Orson, but it turns out he's owned by a guy who lives several houses up the street, and he won't let us have him as our indoor only cat. So we feel so bad for him because he's out there in the rain and the cold, huddled up against the front of our house. Clearly not wanting to spend the night in his owner's house. So we bought him a house. I bought him a really nice house, but that one's not here yet. So then I bought him also one that came really fast on Amazon. So updates on him. Since I updated you 3 days ago, he still has his house. He spent last night in it. He was really cute. I saw him when he left it this morning. Or this afternoon, really. He was like stretching and walking around. He seemed like he had a good night's rest. There's an update that somebody stole his house just for like 5 minutes. A different cat stole his house for 5 minutes, and this is the other cat, and we think we know who this cat is. It's actually the sibling of our cat that we have indoors. She's feral, and we think she has a sibling who's out there who we call Thirsty Cat. And so we think this is Thirsty Cat, and we think he's sorry about this photo. It's so terrible. But see, there he is, like lying around in the house, going, "Oh my God, this is so comfortable. Oh my goodness." So that's Thirsty Cat. He's actually all gray, but that's a night vision camera, so the gray looks white. But anyway, so that's Thirsty Cat, we think, in Orson's house. And he was just in there for 5 minutes and then he left because he can smell that it belongs to a different cat. So he didn't want to fight. So he just left. This is Thirsty Cat leaving. When he left, he was like looking around going, "Oh, I hope I didn't piss anybody off." So that's Thirsty Cat leaving the cat house. And then this is Thirsty Cat when he came in. Oh, wait, that was my kitten typing. Walking on the keyboard. So that's Thirsty Cat when he came in, when he first poked his head in. He was like, "Uh-oh, am I going to get in trouble looking in here?" So that's Thirsty Cat. So we're thinking that, I mean, we do have this like small cat house like in our carport that is actually has this low level heater in it, but he hasn't found that one. So we're either going to try, hopefully, to get him to find that one. Maybe we'll leave some like cat treats, late at night. So maybe he follows the treats and finds the house. But when the other house gets here for Orson, maybe we'll just leave them both out. And so then maybe Thirsty Cat will take one of the houses and then Orson will take the other, which, you know, is a little weird to have a whole bunch of cat houses in the front of your house, but they do look kind of cute. The cat houses, they're not like bad looking. So maybe that's okay. Let's see if I have any other cool photos to show you. Oh, there was this one we think. Let's see, where is that one? Do I not have it? This is Orson when he was in his house. That's Orson in there. He's a very big boy. That's not even all of him right there. But let's see. Oh, this is it. Okay. So this photo shows, okay, so Orson's in the house sleeping. You can see just a little bit of his butt in there. So this is night vision, right? And then this, we think, is Thirsty Cat at a different time. This isn't when he stole his house. This is a different time. We think this is Thirsty Cat watching Orson in the house asleep, like just creeping by, not waking him up. So that's kind of interesting. There's somebody watching Orson sleeping, being jealous of his nice house. So we have a lot of homeless cats in our area. People move away and abandon their cats. Really sad. But whatever, you do what you can. Someone says you may become popular in the future. You may have to order a cat hotel. Yeah, we don't feed them. You know, like we don't feed Orson. Like his owner overfeeds him. That's why he's so giant. We don't. So, I mean, maybe we won't become super popular because we're not feeding. And like the guy up the street, he feeds cats. I don't know. But there are a lot of like, there's like a blackberry. There's like a couple lots with like that are overrun by wild blackberries. So I think there are a lot of mice and stuff for the cats to eat. So we don't put out food for any cats. Because if you put out food, then you do attract a lot of them, and then you have to make sure they're all fixed. You don't have to, but that's the ethical thing, because otherwise you're going to get a population explosion on your hands. So then you have to do a lot of trapping and paying for neutering and all that, and it's a whole thing. So we're just kind of hoping to just, you know, have like a couple cat houses, but no feeding, and call it a day. Because, you know, if we sell the house someday, you know, I don't want like, you know, 20 cats showing up to somebody's house to, you know, eat and stuff, you know, and I don't, yeah, just, that's a whole can of worms. So yeah, hopefully we don't become super popular. I don't think we will. We have a water bowl out. We have a water dish out. And so there are already like deer come to have the water, and different cats in the middle of the night come to have some water. So that's not really new. Somebody says, thank you so much, Janet. You're welcome. Somebody says, I love that you call the other cat Thirsty Cat. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, he's called Thirsty Cat because one time we saw him in the summer, he drank water from that, you know, the ground level water bowl that I have, the big water dish, for like 2 minutes straight. I was like, oh my gosh, the poor boy, he's so thirsty. So that's why he's Thirsty Cat. We don't really know if it's a boy or a girl. I think he must be fixed though, if he's Boo Boo Kitty's sibling, because the guy up the street fixed Boo Boo Kitty. I mean, we didn't know that then. That's why we got her spayed again and paid hundreds of dollars for no good reason, because he never got her ear tipped. And so we had no idea. And even the surgeon saw this like weird, jagged, off-center scar and didn't realize it was a spay scar. So, but anyway, if he's Boo Boo Kitty's sibling, which we think he is, then he's already fixed, which is good. But yeah, that's Thirsty Cat. Thirsty Cat. But if we end up, you know, if he does end up living in a house in our front yard, then we'll maybe rename him so he won't be Thirsty Cat. We'll give him a proper name. All right, guys, you're amazing. Yeah. So have a good evening, morning, whatever's next for you. You are fabulous. Trying to make my glitter go, but it's not going. Oh, that's so wrong. I need my glitter. There we go. Bye.